you guys. All right, so we're gonna have to work that out. Absolutely. Yes, sorry. Yep. We need a large component set. We need
Ferguson, Peterson. Ferguson, Smart.
Mr. INC President. Thank you. I appreciate it. You might even back to yourself. All right. Watch out. Very quickly, howdy, Senate. So we had our speaker pro tip called in sick at 6:30, so we immediately began setting up the room at that point. So that's why we're running a little bit late tonight. But we're almost ready. We're almost good to go. I don't hear you. You would have been there. No, I was. You were late.
I like it.
You're late. No slack.
Marco, do you know how to set the logic?
I watched about to do it a few times. Yeah, it is.
Do we have a reform? We're at quorum. We at quorum? I think we are. Barely.
Some of these are
Please come to order. Please come to order and go to your seats. Give this to Nolan White over there. Please come to order. If you do not, we're going to do this. If you do not have your placard right now, please just raise your hand. As in, it is not at your seat. So we need Julia Krog's placard. We need Michael King's placard. I'm going to go ahead and I apologize. I don't remember. Okay. We're going to go ahead.
No, that wasn't what I said.
Hey, Jasmine. All right. We're going to go ahead. Howdy, Senate. Howdy. I thought about saying sup, but it's a little too casual. So, yeah, the live stream's going. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order at 7:05 p.m. Welcome to the last full meeting of the 69th session of the Student Senate. All right. We're going to move into a period of opening roll call. Yes, Senator Clark, if you could read the opening roll call, I'd really like Chair Clark.
Oh, for real?
Yes, please.
Do I get to do that?
Yeah, do you have a pen?
No, I do not.
Here's my pen. Please read the opening roll call.
Okay. SPB Wimberley. Howdy. Chief Justice James.
Yeah.
Speaker.
Howdy.
Pro Tem Penny. Yes, Chair Rosine.
Keep going.
Chair Brooks.
Howdy.
Chair Abdullah. Chair Day. Chair Clark. Chair Turpin. Senator Gamble. Senator Black. Senator Foster. Senator Bedmeyer. Senator Brookins. Senator Nick Bradford. Senator Cook.
Howdy.
There we go. Senator Cox.
Howdy.
Senator Compton.
Howdy.
Senator Cruz.
Howdy.
Senator Evans. Senator Ferguson.
Howdy.
Senator Gimbel. Senator Godwin.
Yeah.
Sorry, I butchered that.
Let her sit in your seat.
Senator Hernandez.
Howdy.
Senator Habica.
Howdy.
Senator Hope. Hogg. Senator Johnson.
Howdy.
Senator King.
Howdy.
Senator Crowe.
Howdy.
Senator Crum. Senator Lander. Aye. Senator Martin. Senator Mockford. Senator Moore. Okay, that's probably what your name. Okay, I got you. Senator Moore, Senator Nelson. Senator Peterson. Aye. Senator Powell.
Howdy.
Senator Ratcliffe. Am I saying it right? Oh, no. Senator Riojas. Senator Roberts.
Howdy.
Senator Smart.
Howdy. I was like maybe by material.
Okay, that's not good. Senator Trevino.
Howdy.
Senator Walker. Senator Wang.
Howdy.
Senator Wolf.
Howdy.
Senator Weisler.
Howdy.
Senator Wilson. Senator Julie Crowe.
Howdy.
Senator Ali Hall. Senator Jillian Hall. Senator Economides.
Howdy.
Senator Moody. Senator Westbrook.
Howdy.
Senator Walker.
Howdy.
Senator Ramirez. Senator Jordan Moore.
Howdy.
Senator Holt. Senator Monroy.
Howdy.
Senator Chuga.
Howdy.
Senator Revolution.
Howdy.
Closing.
Senator Rossi. Senator Bond.
Howdy.
Okay. Senator Train. Senator Amin. Senator Igor Ronnie. Senator McCabe. McAfee. Senator Moreno. Senator Parker. Senator Sweet. Senator Warnicki. Senator Serrata.
Howdy.
Senator Spalding. Senator Spalding. So Senator Anderson. Okay, if I didn't call your name, please raise your hand.
Sorry, I must have not heard it.
Okay, I got it.
Great. We'll now move into a period of invocation and pledges led by Senator Ferguson. If you could all please stand.
Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you so much for every person in this room, and I want to thank you for leading them here this evening to give their time to the students at Texas A&M. I just ask that you make yourself present in each of their hearts and minds today as we try to make decisions on their behalf. And I pray that you lead each of them in their own way, safe and sound out of here and to the end of a successful semester. In your name, amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you, Senator Ferguson. Will you please remain standing for the reading of the mission statement Aggie Honor Code by our longest serving senator at his last meeting of the Student Senate, Senator Lander.
The Texas A&M University Student Senate represents all students in order to enhance the Texas A&M experience within our university and communities through research, legislation, and advocacy in accordance with the core values of our institution. And Aggie does not lie, cheat, or steal, nor tolerate those who do.
Thank you, Senator Lander. We'll now move to singing the Spirit of Aggie Land.
Some may boast of prowess bold, of the school they've been so grand, but there's a spirit can never be told. It's the spirit of Aggie Land. We are the Aggies are we. True to each other as Aggies can be. We've got to fight, boys, we've got to fight. We've got to fight for maroon and white. After they boosted all the rest, they will come and join the best. For we are the Aggies are we. We're from Texas AMC.
All right. We'll now move to a period. You may be seated. We'll now move to a period of open forum, beginning with Chris Wilder, a senior econ major from the Fighting Texas Ag class of 2017. Hey, representing the Yell Leaders. Yeah, 5 minutes for you.
Howdy. I just want to thank y'all for having us here today. Like I said, my name is Chris Wilder. First, want to thank y'all for your service to A&M this year. This is the 69th session, right? So as Aaron Mitchell would say, one time to be alive. So I want to thank y'all for what y'all done this year. I know not a whole lot of y'all know what's going on here, and I'm glad that y'all have an open forum for voices to be heard. And so that's kind of why we're here today. I want to just kind of express our opinion and address the election regulations that were just, I guess, changed or proposed. And specifically the ones that affected the Yell Leaders not being able to wear their whites when campaigning. As a Yell Leader for the past 2 years, and as a guy who's seen 2 sets of Yell Leaders before me, and then seeing this group come after me, seeing what the junior Yell Leaders do is amazing. They work incredibly hard all year, whether it's from the men that are elected, learning the rips, learning the yells and speeches, to the summers doing 3 new student conferences a week, going to A&M Coast around Texas, doing every fish camp that's traveling to Lakeview every 3 days, or in the fall traveling to home and away football games, doing men and women's basketball games, soccer games, volleyball games, and then traveling for tournament play in the spring, and then hopefully to rerun as a senior Yell Leader. And so it's my belief that these junior Yell Leaders, Cooper did an incredible job this year, and Connor will do an incredible job this coming year. These guys work so hard. It's my belief that they have earned the right to wear those whites, and they're a junior Yell Leader before they're even a candidate for senior Yell Leader, and so it's my belief that they should be able to wear their whites when they're campaigning for that position, because they've worked incredibly hard and have earned that. Then more from less of an opinion and more from an administrative standpoint, our Texas Ag Yell Leader Constitution, and we address appearance in our Constitution. Article 8 says that any variance or changes to uniform or appearance of the Yell Leaders must be approved in writing by all the current Yell Leaders and the advisors. It shall be submitted as an amendment to the Constitution and bylaws. And then we have an amendment section, Article 11. It says this Constitution and bylaws may only be amended by the unanimous vote of the current Yell Leaders with the approval of the advisors and the director of student activities. Any such amendment shall be designated in writing and signed by all current Yell Leaders and advisors. This Constitution and bylaws is reviewed annually and subject to approval of the Department of Student Activities. So that's really all I've got for y'all. Just wanted to come and give a form. I love that y'all have this for this purpose. So I guess we have Time for questions?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll have 5 minutes of question and answer.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. Just to clarify for everyone, the rule that they're referencing is a rule that's been proposed in the election regulations that requires if anyone's running for any office, they're not allowed to wear the official uniform if they've held that office before. So that is if you're an RJ, you can't wear an RJ polo. If you're a yellow leader, you could not wear your whites. Therefore, that's the proposal. It's going to be up to vote for night. So if you have any questions, please bring them forward. Seeing none, thank y'all very much. We appreciate it. All right, we'll now move to Senator Bree Ferguson, a GIS team major representing Student Senate, Fine Texas Ag Class 2017. Hey. Howdy.
I'm back this week to do my usual spiel about going to Subco. I know it's the end of the semester. A lot of people have tests and stuff. I was in Boston last week and I missed you guys. Wish I could have taken you all with me, but don't worry, I had my very own version of Subco up there on Wednesday night. But we're gonna do the chicken. It would be really good to see as many people there as can be there. It is almost the very end, so if you want to visit with people who are not coming back, it's a good time to do that. And that's pretty much, I think, all I got.
Are there any questions? Senator Ferguson. Seeing none, thank you very much. We'll now move to Senator Anne Marie Wolf, an Ag Econ major representing Delta Gamma, Fine Texas Ag Class 2018.
Hey!
We'll have 5 minutes for your Howdy.
Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
So if you're in the 70th, you've already heard me, but Delta Gamma is having our spring philanthropy event tomorrow night at 6:30. So if you want to buy a ticket, you can get it from me. It's different men's organizations are doing a synchronized swimming competition and relay races at the NAT. So it should be funny and entertaining, but it's to help us raise money for Service for Sight, which is our philanthropy to help people with visual impairments. So if you have any questions, you can contact me. Any questions?
Great. Are there any questions for Senator Wolf? Seeing none, thank you very much. Chair Broach, we got something from Buster. All right, howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
So this year, Lord Powers and Senator Powers and I were both muster hosts, and I'm coming forward to talk to you all today just about muster. For those of you who don't know, if you're not familiar, muster is April 21st of every year. It's a tradition that's been going on since the 1880s. I believe it was 1883 was the first muster. It was originally San Jacinto Day, because that also happens to be the day that the Texas Army beat the hell out of Santa Ana. But we're going to be, muster is on the 21st in Reed Arena at 7 p.m. I'd encourage you, if you decide to go out, to get there a little bit earlier than 7, probably around 6:30, 6 o'clock is actually what we're encouraging people to do. We're expecting it to be pretty packed. There's a couple other opportunities. From 11 to 2, there's a camaraderie barbecue. It's over at the Northwest Plaza of Cowfield, right? Northeast Plaza of Cowfield. And it's a great opportunity to get to know members of the Fine Texas Ag Class of 1967. This is their 50-year reunion. It's a lot of good bull. You don't even have to buy a barbecue ticket. I encourage you to. It's really good food, but you don't have to go talk to them. So that's just a couple opportunities, and I'd really encourage each and every one of you to go check out the reflections display in the USC and just reflect on the amazing acts you've done before us and the fact that these are the people that we will be sitting here for on Friday. I believe that covers everything. So, if you have any questions?
Yes, Senator Krug.
Senator Krug, off to this caucus, Speaker Greg, can you tell us a little bit about the speaker for this year?
The speaker is Dr. Ed Davis Jr., class of 1967. So this is his 50-year class reunion, which is another just exciting thing that we got going on. He was actually interim president at Texas A&M for, I believe, 2 years. He's president of the Association of Former Students as well. He's been a good ag, served this university for a very long time, and understands the spirit very well. And I've enjoyed getting to know him a little bit over the last couple of weeks. So he's going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to hearing from him. You're welcome.
Senator Roberts.
Sorry. Senator Roberts, College of Liberal Arts. How much are tickets for the barbecue?
Tickets for the barbecue, I believe, were $7. It's $9. It's 9, and then at the door it's something different.
It's 12.
It's 12 at the door. Okay. For some reason, I got those numbers mixed up. It's 9 if you order it right now. You can order them online right now. You can also pay with dining dollars. But if you don't order it now, it's $12 at the door if there's tickets left. Oh, and they're also on sale at various dining locations. And Rudder Overflow. Oh yeah, and there's going to be an overflow in Rudder. Sorry. There's going to be an overflow this year because we're trying to make sure that everyone has a chance. There are people who turned away last year to read. So there's actually going to be an overflow room in Rudder. So if you make it over to Reed and it's full, they're actually going to be shuttling you over to Rudder. And they got a really neat setup there. They're going to be live streaming. They got some other stuff that's going to be there as well. So try to get as many Aggies to experience on campus as much as possible. Cool. All right. We'll now move into a period of approval of the April 5th, 2017 minutes. That's approval by consent. Is there anyone who objects to the minutes? Seeing none, the minutes are approved by unanimous consent. We'll now move into a period of a special presentation from Dr. Tim Lomax. Dr. Lomax is part of the Texas A&M Transportation Institute, and he's actually going to be presenting today on something that's probably going to be in the pipeline 2021, 2022, I believe. But he's really wanting the opinion of the student senate and student leaders across campus, and so he wanted to come talk with us about it. It's a neat presentation. It's about 15 minutes, and yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome. Okay, just point to one on.
Which one?
Frank, it's the second
Key
time.
points or?
There you go.
There you go, right there.
Joseph,
Yes.
I have a motion.
What is your motion?
My motion to extend Mr. Lomax's speaking time by 5 minutes.
About 5 minutes? Well, he's got 15. Do you need more than 15?
Yes.
All right, yeah. I mean, that's fine. I wasn't sure how much time you wanted. We talked about 15.
Hey, man, I got a PhD.
All
I
right.
talk forever.
Great. Motion is made to extend the period of the presentation by 5 minutes. Are there any seconds? Seeing multiple seconds. All in favor of extending the period of presentation by 5 minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Here's the chair that passed unanimously.
I hope I'm worth it. Howdy.
Howdy.
I'm Tim Lomax, class of 79. As I told some other folks, that's 1979, not 1879. This is my assistant project planner and public engagement coordinator, Madison Metzger-Galarza, class of 16. No, so real quickly, I want to run through this. We've got business cards and some questionnaires. This is basically a sales pitch for you and everybody you know to go onto our website, fill out the questionnaire, and give us some input. This project is about the Bush-Welborn intersection. We call it the Bush-Welborn crossing. Title here is "What are you thinking?" That's "What are you thinking?" not "What are you thinking?" Okay, so you get the intonation difference. I'm a little technology inclined. How about if I just point? So background, we got a whole bunch of stuff going on in that intersection. That's a real shock to everybody in this room, I bet. We've got something like 200 special events that go on, not just the Monday through Friday stuff, but weekend stuff, ton of things that go on, lots of trains, lots of people, lots of cars, a whole bunch of chaos. In the congestion world, we think of that as job security. It's also the southwest gateway to our area, so it's a really important part of the area. Bryan College Station right now is about 215,000 people. We're the 15th largest metro area in the state. We're going to grow to something close to 350 by 2040 and close to 400,000 by 2050. A&M's got 62,000 students. We know that's probably going to go up. So problems now, it's going to get worse it's going to get even worse later. We're the 4th largest downtown in the state on game day. We're also the 4th largest downtown Monday through Friday. 15th largest metro area, 4th largest downtown, largest university in the state. Giant problems, not enough issues, not enough problems. This project, we want to improve safety. We want to improve congestion. We want to make sure that we do this in a way to minimize the construction disruption. And that's excellent. That's why I'm here today, really. is to try to figure out how to get y'all to help us out with that. Obviously, the intersection has a lot of historic significance. The only way we can do this is to enhance the communication. That's a really weird looking slide. We're doing this by making presentations to everybody that we can find. Project actually started last century. It's hopefully we're going to get done before the next century. We got a final environmental impact clearance in 2008. We've sort of been working at the project a little bit, but we don't have any money. We feel pretty certain, though, if we can get the community engaged and get a project that everybody is comfortable with, not just where we're going, but how we get there. That's the minimized construction disruption thing. That we can get the funding that we need, the additional state funding that we need. But again, the reason why I'm here is the project is probably going to start in about 2022. I can't talk to the Aggies of 2022 yet. Can't go to their high school, can't go to their elementary school. I need y'all to stand, it's not going to be that long. Do the math. I need y'all to stand in for them. I need your friends to stand in for them. As though this project we're going to start next week, next semester, I need you to go on our website, do the questionnaire, help us understand what your concerns would be. The basic design that we've got now is a 3-level design. The top layer is what you see out there right now. So the railroad, and then the 2 blue lines here are, you can tell we spent a lot of money on graphics because we're really close to the end of this project. This should give you an idea how temporary this is. So we got the railroad and then 2 through roadways. It would go north-south. You don't want to get off of Welborn Road. You just want to go through. The through roadways are what you'd stay on. The next level down is a bicycle pedestrian layer. Right now, it's got almost all the movements, but again, we're looking for comments. So basically, the idea is keep the bicycles and the pedestrians away from the trains, away from the cars, away from the airplanes, everything. The bottom of this, and this is like 3.5 stories down, so we're going down a long ways, would be all of Bush. It would go underneath the railroad tracks. And if you're on Welborn Road and you want to intersect with Bush, you would go down. Otherwise, you'd be up on the top. So the top layer is Welborn through roads and the railroad. Next level is bicycle pedestrian. All the way down at the bottom is all of Bush and anybody on Welborn that want to intersect. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
It doesn't have to make sense. This is where we're at. This is the design that got approved, but the district engineer here at the Texas Department of Transportation said, we need y'all to go out and find out what people think. We got to go back to a 5% set of design plans and start over. We're willing to do that. Partly because we don't have funding, partly because we've got time. So we're serious about this. So these are some renderings of what that design looks like. Very quickly, McDonald's, a little bit out of perspective. It's not a king-size McDonald's. Here's the bicycle pedestrian road of one of them. This is the railroad track. These are the 2 through roads. This is the Welborn piece that goes down and intersects with Bush. You can see another bicycle pedestrian roadway over here. Another different perspective, if you're down in the hole, it won't be quite this dark. But the idea is you go down, you can see right, we got a pointer, right through here is the bicycle pedestrian layer that goes across Welborn Road. And here's another view from up over above sort of Aggieland Outfitters. So this gives you a sense of how big this intersection is going to be. Think about where Aggieland Outfitters is. Next to it is the Varsity 2 apartments. It will be converted into some bicycle pedestrian stuff and a through roadway rubble. So everything between Aggieland Outfitters and McDonald's is going to be transportation. Here's another view from George Bush looking underneath Welborn through roads, and this is from up above the northeast quadrant, the Kyle Field side, looking at it. You can see the bicycle pedestrian layer here. It's not going to intersect with anything else. And there's an upper level version. There's all of this is on slides on the website. This was developed as a way to, or around the budget of, do you have a question?
Oh, I read it down.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I missed it.
All right, not bad. Full closure for a while. Right now, we're looking at an idea, possible idea, 24/7 construction schedule. We have to keep the railroad in operation. We close the whole intersection for 6 months. No banging on that. We then open up the Welborn through roads, but keep Bush closed for another 3 months. So you're talking about, under this idea, last graduation ceremony, give you 30 minutes or so to get away. In December, close everything. Keep that closed till the start of school. That's sort of the timing that we're looking at. What's new, the other thing that's new about this is that we're going to be, between now and then, we're going to be expanding FM 2818. It'll be 6 lanes, 3 lanes in each direction. That'll get us, when we get to closing Bush Welborn, for however much we need to close it, we'll have some place for people to go. Not sure how many of you travel 2818, but again, I think of that as job security. Because all the screwed up in this. We've got a whole bunch of challenges that we all know about. I'll try to get through this. We're wide open for ideas. The questionnaire pushes you to answer some of these ideas. For example, what if we, in order to deal with the traffic congestion, were to drop out 8 a.m. classes? No 8 a.m. classes for a spring semester. We thought that might be a popular line. Maybe the afternoon classes end at 4 and pick up again at 6. Again, creating a gap in the middle so we can get faculty, staff, people on and off campus. What if we add commuter parking on the east side of the railroad tracks so we don't have as many people crossing the railroad tracks? That might mean, Residence Hall Association folks, that might mean we have to move some of the Residence Hall parking over to Reed Arena, provide a pretty rapid, constant shuttle bus service back and forth. Maybe there'd be a price discount on that. Not sure how, but again, if we can keep traffic from crossing the railroad tracks, that'd be great. We've already talked to the folks in the administration. They're talking about flexible work schedules, whole bunch of different ideas. We've got this questionnaire, bwx-bcs.org. We've also got an email that you can get at us that way. Really, what I want you to do is give us your ideas, concerns, suggestions. We would like to come back in the fall and present some more specific designs. You saw the design we've got now. We'd like to come back again in the fall with, we'll be back out to the public with another round of this with more specific designs and more specific construction scheduling options so you can kind of see how much we are disrupting things. So that's my sales pitch.
Great. We'll now go into a 10-minute period of question and answer because we have a lot of questions lined up. And we'll begin with Senator Krogh.
Senator Krogh, off-campus caucus. My question is, I've noticed, permission to preface?
Yes.
Noticed over the past couple of years with the football season, on Saturdays, oftentimes 2818 has to be kind of blocked off. The police come out and they end up shutting down lanes and just trying to get traffic out of town. With the 6-lane expansion that you're planning on, and of course knowing that the alumni will grow as the student body grows, do you kind of foresee for the long-term future being able to eliminate those kinds of traffic situations for good?
Well, the easy answer is I plan to retire and turn this job over to Madison because I'm a chicken. I think really what we're looking at is the 3 lanes will probably be much better than what we have now. I think we're still going to have some version of the plan of get people who want to get out of town so that we can pick up our traffic toys and go away and we can all get our town back. We're not giving you back uncongested traffic, but we're giving you back a town that works better. We had, in 2013, we had a situation with the Alabama game where we basically didn't let people out of town. It took us 4 hours to get rid of traffic. Now we're routinely getting rid of traffic in 2 hours. Yeah, there are some restrictions, but I think we'll probably continue something like that philosophy.
Thank you.
Senator Economides.
Senator Economides, off-campus caucus, permission to preface.
Yes, ma'am.
So I actually had a friend pass away on the train tracks at that intersection a couple years ago. So my biggest concern would have to be the pedestrian and bike crossing. So can you just explain more? Is it like well under the train tracks, or are they still gonna have to go parallel? Because like I saw parallels and my eyes are messed up. But yeah.
So the objective here, and let me get back to this really complicated tortured engineering drawing, is if you think about that intersection, there's basically nothing right next to the interchange except for Aggieland Outfitters and McDonald's. Everything else is back away. So we built a setup, or we designed a set of bicycle and pedestrian paths that will pick people up where they are and bring them through the intersection. So if you start off at the railroad track level, the beam to hold up that railroad track is about 8 or 9 feet deep. And then we've got 10 feet of clearance for you to be able to ride your bicycle underneath, sitting on your bicycle, not bang your head. So that's the level you'll be down. The slope to get into that will be consistent with the Americans with Disabilities Act, so no more than 5%. But it will keep people off of the railroad tracks and keep people from going way down into the ditch. That ditch is not going to be designed for people to be in. And we think we've designed, but we want your comments. Have we designed this well enough to keep people from wandering around in the street or the railroad tracks?
Thank you.
You bet.
All right, Senator Hernandez.
Sorry for your loss.
Senator Hernandez, on-campus caucus. Commissioner, preface briefly.
Yes.
Since this will be closed for 6 months under.
One idea.
Right, correct. For construction 24/7, when is this construction going to take place again?
What year on your ring? 2022. Right now is the start. However, another idea might be that we do some of this leading up to it. For example, we're out buying TxDOT is out buying right away right now. When that right away gets cleared, maybe we relocate all the utilities. So that's a step done. That's some time off that 6 months. Maybe we move Welborn Road around a little bit so that we can get access to the edges of the road and drill our retaining wall shafts. Right now, they're building the retaining wall as they go down. So they dig down 5 feet, put a retaining wall in, dig down 5 more feet, put a retaining, all that takes time. If we can dig all those retaining walls, we might be able to shut this thing down and clear it out in a month or 2 months. Nobody has a prefabricated hole that we can just drop in. But if we can make that the digging is the long involved part. The more stuff we can do, where all we have left to do is the digging, the faster it's going to go.
Senator Smart.
Senator Smart, College of Geoscience. Thank you very much for your presentation. I have 2 quick points. The first being, if you were to go ahead and open this up, it looks like in your renderings that you had space available for retail. Did I misinterpret that?
Yeah, the right of way is just to handle the road.
Okay.
Maybe a mobile food truck. Jettison Subway sandwich.
I like that a lot, or I like the idea of possibly having that space available for retail that might be able to yield a quicker turnover time in terms of funding. It might be a good way to branch people away from Northgate and possibly open up something else to relieve the congestion that's often found in Northgate after games and stuff like that. And then the second thing, you're aware of the new housing complex that's opening up, the largest in the United States. Yeah. Is there any way that you could possibly nudge the state to give you all a bit more funding, seeing as you're going to see pretty substantial issues within the next year as that opens up? That'll cause a lot of congestion for all students.
Yeah. So one of the things that we've already looked at is how do we make these pedestrian paths wider. Madison and I both work on game days, and we've been in this intersection. We see the mass of humanity coming out of there. It's not quite that bad Monday through Friday, but if you go out there and watch, there's an awful lot of pedestrian and bicycle activity. So we're already looking at ways to improve the bicycle pedestrian layer, not just wider, but can we improve the connectivity for that very reason? You really have people going diagonally across the intersection. Is the main flow.
Could this also help with flood control as well?
Well, the sort of joke around the engineering community is the pumps work until you need them. And then you create a very nice flood control basin. Not so much if you want to drive a car through. We're looking at pump reliability. We're looking at probably multiple pumps on multiple circuits design. One of them fails, the other one can still dump out the water. I think flood control is something that they looked at quite a bit in the initial design.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to remind the body that I only ask one question at a time. Senator Parker. That's okay. Oh, yeah.
Senator Parker, College of Engineering. You mentioned that TxDOT was already working on acquiring the right of ways. Have you talked to the businesses in the area? And I mean, the baseball stadium is also really close to the train tracks. So what has the conversations with the businesses been so far?
TxDOT right away is already talking to them. They've got agreements with all the businesses along Bush and with McDonald's on this design. So if we've looked at some different designs. They all need about the same footprint. So that right away acquisition process is going ahead. We really take very little off of the Southgate Merchant side. Mostly the Varsity 2 apartments, the Ellis Homes, and the Unitarian Church that wind up going away. There's some small clips on the other residential property, and then a very minor taken on the merchant side.
And do these businesses know?
Please limit
Yeah.
the back and forth.
Yeah, they absolutely know. And I've been a baseball season ticket holder for longer than I care to remember. Many of you have been around, so.
With about 2 minutes remaining, ad hoc Chair Wang.
Ad hoc Chair Wang, is this project in any way related to the government right hand turn lane expansion? And if so, is there a particular reason why there were students moved out of those cheaper housing options, seeing that the start date of this project is rather late?
Well, again, remember one of my comments about this was if we can get access, particularly the Varsity 2 apartments, if we can get access to that strip of land, maybe we can move Welborn Road over and start working on the utility relocations. There's a lot of not just fiber optic stuff, but water, sewer, that kind of stuff that has to get moved. Any of that we can get moved sooner, the faster the actual digging of the hole is going to go.
With 1 minute remaining, Senator Hernandez.
Withdrawn.
Senator Roberts,
I have a motion.
please briefly state your motion.
I have a motion to extend the period of question and answer by 3 minutes.
Motion's made to extend the period of question and answer by 3 minutes, seeing multiple seconds. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. Nearest chair, that passes unanimously. 3 minutes have been added. Withdrawn, Senator Hernandez. Senator Moore.
Sorry, more off campus. Sorry. I see that it's a little wider, and I noticed that there's not a lot of room. I know there's not much room to expand outward. So, are y'all planning on taking down some of those apartments and stuff like that, or
Yeah, so-
the railroad, or how's that working?
Railroad stays where it is. If you think about, so here's McDonald's. The railroad is basically where it is right now. Welborn Road right now takes up about this space here. So this space here is the Varsity 2 apartments and Ellis Homes and the Unitarian Church. Those all become part of the right of way. This building over here is the Aggieland Outfitters that's there now. So we basically go up to their lot line. So there's also the parking lot 60, that's just off of Bush. You can see that's sort of accurately presented. So we'll take up some of that ground also once we get up to by the warehouse district, as I call it. The buildings, the road comes back into more of the existing space that's there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Senator Powers.
Withdrawn.
Senator Broach, or Chair Broach.
Chair Broach, Academic Affairs. So I know you said something, or Commissioner Progress.
No. We're 2 minutes.
A lot of the upper level classes in the College of
Senator
Ag
Smart.
are.
Smart, I have a motion to extend the question and answer by 2 minutes. 5 minutes.
By 5.
5 minets.
Motion made, extend the period of question and answer for 5 minutes. We're grilling you out here, I'm sorry. Seeing multiple seconds, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
Okay.
You're sure that passes. This is challenge by choice, though. So, 5 minutes. You have permission to preface.
So, as part of the college back, a lot of our upper level classes are 8 a.m.s or only 8 a.m.s. They are not offered at any other time of the day. So if you were to possibly, try to cut out some of those 8 a.m.s, how would you work with the faculty to move those classes?
Between now and 2022, that's one of the things that we're going to be doing. Does that even make sense? If it doesn't make sense for everybody, does it make sense for some places? If it makes sense for West Campus Ag, does it make sense for some of the giant classes? Maybe we drop out the giant lecture sessions. Maybe we move some classes around. So
Sure, actually.
So a lot of the ag students I know do live south of College Station, and they take Wellborn and 2818 up, and 2818 is pretty packed already in the morning. So how are you all? I know you're willing to, or you're going to expand that 2818. Is that expansion going to be done in time to handle that flow of traffic?
that's the reason why we're waiting until 2022.
Okay.
Get 2818 finished.
Okay.
We estimate that's going to be 2021. If it slips into 2022, I'm an Aggie, but I'm good enough at math to know we can't have both of those things taken out of service. So it'll be one, then the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to Chair Clark.
Chair Clark, Student Services, permission to preface.
Yes.
Just give me your time. Cool. You talked about wanting community buy-in. Let me ask, what have y'all been doing to get that buy-in, and how, as we as student government, can help you with that?
Right now, we need comments. We need ideas. We need suggestions. We need concerns. If you don't like something, if you're worried about 8 o'clock classes, if you're concerned about being able to get somewhere, or what this might do to student access to housing or whatever, we need to hear that. We're going to take that input and come back in the fall with more specific ideas that hopefully answer all those concerns and take advantage of the opportunities that we get. That will really be the start of sort of the official buy-in. But I mean, really, I think buy-in starts now. We need to be listening to people, and that's what we're trying to do. So we're trying to find as many opportunities to speak as we can.
Chair Trevino.
Chair Trevino off campus, could you please kind of highlight again on this drawing where the walkways are, just for the benefit of the student body?
Sure. So we've got, here's Marion Pugh over here. So we've got a bicycle pedestrian path that goes all the way around, crosses over Bush, and goes back towards Olson. This path will also turn back on itself and drop down underneath the railroad, the through lanes, across Welborn Road and back up to the other side. So you'll be able to cross Welborn Road there. Once you get over here, you'll be able to come back up, and there's a bicycle pedestrian path all the way along Welborn Road on this side. One of the things that we've talked about, for example, is what about this leg here? The initial design was done before Kyle Field was built, before we had 62,000 students. The estimate was, well, this isn't really going to get us all that much. Things have changed. We hope, I'm not trying to prompt anybody to say anything, but we hope to hear that this is a pretty important leg also. Just makes sense to have a loop around, but right now it doesn't. Some of this go away and then come back underneath is driven by the need to get down to grade. We're looking at different ways to be able to make that happen also. Does that answer your question?
Thank you, sir.
Sir Krogh Julia.
Senator Krogh, off-campus caucus. So is this going to be like a mini mix master, or is it going to be a little bit more like the intersection at Welborn and University?
It'll probably be more like Welborn and University, but much deeper. This is 3.5 stories down. The other thing, think about Welborn University, but with University much farther down and all the sidewalks happening above the street and below the railroad. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Yep.
Senator Cox.
Senator Cox, Everard Caucus, Commissioner Pfeffer.
Yes, sir.
Have you all considered doing something with the railroad, like perhaps making the railroad go around the city and extending it that way?
We worked on that couple decades ago. And at this point, there doesn't seem to be enough money. There might be enough heavy machinery, but there doesn't appear to be enough money and enough interest on the part of the railroad and the city to move the railroad out of town. Actually had a proposal to do that in the early 80s. At that point, the land west of town was not nearly as developed as it is now. It might have made sense then. Doesn't look like that's going to happen now.
Senator Parker. Senator Parker, College of Engineering. Is it any of this construction going to be happening during football season?
I like my job. I think we're going to try to do this like Kyle Field. So we don't screw up football season. We don't screw up traffic. Can't guarantee you that that's going to happen, but the schedule I laid out, the 9-month thing was sort of timed around, can we do this in a football off season? And again, that's the significant disruption.
Powers.
Senator Powers, College of Education. I know you said you're looking into expanding it, but can you just give us the gist of how wide the current plans include the pedestrian and bike walkway to be, and what the capacity looks like?
Right now, they're 16-foot wide sidewalks. Those are among the widest we have on campus. What we've been looking at, Madison and I, is can we make those 20 or 24? Again, we work game day and people walk in all the lanes of Weldon Road in addition to the sidewalk. So we know that there's enough demand there. So we're looking at that. Again, if I can push you to the question there, make sure you give us that input.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Senator Crowe with 30 seconds remaining.
A motion.
Please state your motion.
I motion to extend period of questioning by 1.5 minutes.
Motion made to extend the period of question and answer by 1.5 minutes. Seeing multiple seconds, we'll move into a vote. All in favor of extending by 1.5 minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
Division's been called. All in favor of extending period of question and answer, please stand. Please be seated. All opposed? In the eyes of the chair, that passes. You may continue.
Thank you. Senator Crowe, off-campus process. With the increased traffic in the area, particularly at night, how do y'all plan to approach the situation with lighting? And are there plans to put additional blue light emergency system, especially with the walkways being at a lower level?
During construction or after?
Mostly after.
So if you think about the way this is actually going to work, it's not going to feel nearly as much like a tunnel as the pedestrian passageway between Kimbrough and Joe Rowell on the north side of Kyle Field. It's going to feel more like a passageway at Old Main, where you've got some elevated structures. There's a lot more air and a lot more ability to see through. I would expect that we're going to have cameras that will have the ability to have the panic buttons, that kind of thing, and a ton of lighting. I think we need lighting just for the fact that this roadway is going to be a long way down. But I think there's a real commitment to make sure the aesthetics of this thing work. The Southwest Gateway, historic gateway component of this just says we need to do a much better job than sort of normal.
Thank you.
You bet.
Sir Parker, with 30 seconds remaining.
College of Engineering. Seeing that the intersection is very wide now with the proposed plans, how is the pedestrian walkway is going to be narrowed down when it gets up towards the rec center? It gets very narrow up there.
So right now there's a walkway that goes up this way. One of the narrow spots is right behind Bluebell Park. I understand they're also looking at redesigning Bluebell Park. We're a part of that process. We're going to be pushing for some wider sidewalks through that area. I think the rest of it is going to be us talking to A&M about what we do to make that a wider and more consistent with this. So I would expect that this design pushes some more discussion about what happens outside just the intersection.
Thank you.
Dr. Lomax, thank you very much. Have you got anything else you want to share with us or reiterate?
You heard about this questionnaire that we have on our website. Please fill that out. We left copies. We also have, we're going to leave copies of our slides over here in case you're interested in those. We don't really want to have to carry them.
They were also emailed out to all of y'all.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time.
Appreciate it. For next semester?
Yeah.
All right. We'll now move to a period of old business. There's nothing on consent agenda. We'll move to a period of old business. I've been informed that the dismount zone bill passed last meeting. Is that correct? I believe it was, but I was informed of that. So that's actually dilatory. So we'll actually move to SB 6954, the Reveille Act. If the bill author or authors could please come forward, and I need a chair to chair. Real quick.
Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
Okay, so Reveille Act, once again, is just saying that the legislative relations team in the executive branch is the chief executive, representing Texas A&M at all Texas Student Government Coalition functions. So that's basically what this says. It just adds it in the record. So anytime there is a TSGC conference, advocacy day, the person that their director school goes through when representing A&M is our legislative relations team. They're going to be the ones directly working with the legislation, actually lobbying in Austin. So they would therefore be the best people to represent Texas A&M. Obviously, everything they do has to come through us to start out with, so they won't be doing anything crazy. That's basically it. You have anything to add?
Last week was really rough, so I'm not going to say anything else. Sorry. Open any questions?
Yeah, do we have any questions?
Yeah.
Cool. Great. Yeah, debate.
Yeah, any debate against this bill? No, debate deemed one-sided. It's up for a vote, so all in favor to go ahead and pass this Reveille Act, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. In the eye of the chair, that passes.
We'll now move to SB 6955, the Evans Library Sanitary Door Opener Bill. If the bill author or authors could please come forward. That number is 6955. Got 10 minutes, Ariana.
Okay, howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
So this bill basically.
Please stay in order.
As discussed during the last meeting, basically we're installing sanitary door openers in Evans Library. There will be 18 total. The money for it will be coming through the Ivy Green Fund, and it's all paid for. So really, I'm posing questions.
All right, great. Are there any questions for the bill authors and presenters? Is there more?
Can you scroll down a little bit?
It's also been sent out to everyone. So. Any other questions? Is this
I'm walking straight with my big head. It's the hair.
Hey, don't lick your pants.
Okay, seeing no other questions, period of question and answer is closed. We'll now move to a period of debate. Is there any debate against SB 6955? Seeing none, debate is one-sided. We'll move to a period of voting. All in favor of passing SB 6955, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. There's a chair that passed unanimously. We'll now move to SB 6956, the Election Regulations Update Act. If the bill author or authors could please come forward. Senator Ferguson, you're standing in for Chair Rosine.
Chair Rosine.
Chair Rosine's sick tonight as well.
Okay, so, this bill
Let's go down actually.
is, just telling y'all that we're rewriting some of the election regulations. So the bill itself is just like,
You forget
hey,
to
we're doing
rewrite
this
document
thing.
actually.
We actually need to pull up the document.
Yeah, we're doing that now.
There were some issues with it, so we're gonna double check when y'all pull it up to make sure it's the right one. I just reshared it with you because the one in the drive was the wrong one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the one that was sent to me was wrong. All right, where'd you send it?
I sent it to pro temp email.
Can you go to the pro temp email then? Actually. Thank you.
Sorry for the delay.
Yeah, cool.
Can you just scroll down? Can you scroll down? Yeah, it's like.
Is that the one that was emailed out? Is that the one from
We
the
go
pro temp?
down a little bit. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay. Cool. You can continue. Oh yeah, unfreeze.
Okay, so I'm gonna let Rachel kind of take over, and there are only a couple of things from the committee point of view that I'm gonna go over with y'all, but I'm gonna let her pretty much go over like all of the changes. So if you have questions or anything, please like make a note of them, because this is kind of intensive and it is important. So if there's anything that you pay attention to tonight, please let this be it.
Alright, so there's a number of changes. I'm not gonna list every single one of them. A lot of them are just grammar things that we added just for clarification. Kind of like at first when you can see it just made so long as it's not changing the meaning, it's just making it more clear. And then we added a number of things that were all basically responses to something that came up in election season. And so these things were basically all responses either to an issue that came up with me or probably with a violation report. And so those things are, I don't know if you want me to like scroll through it maybe.
Yeah,
Would that
just,
be
you can
easier?
just communicate to him when you need to scroll.
If you want to just scroll down, and I can just maybe
Do you have
explain
everything
each one honestly.
highlighted?
Yeah, they're all on there. They're all in track changes. That would be easier to memorize. So like things like that, we changed the website. We're going back. We're going to have a WordPress site instead of the one that's on right now. Yeah.
Same thing.
So that's just clarifying caucus or race.
Point of information.
Point of information, yes.
Senator Hernandez on-campus caucus, is this available on the drive?
Apparently, the version that I was given is not the correct version, so if we can actually
The
forward
version
this.
that ended up, I think, that y'all have showed what was changed in committee, that it took away the original track changes that were like agreed on. So
Okay.
they weren't on there.
So this version has everything.
This version has everything.
Can we actually share that on the drive? That would actually be easiest.
Please.
Yeah, y'all want to see what it says.
Yeah.
Actually.
So the one, just to clarify, the one on the drive, there were changes that were agreed upon before, like where we even went into committee, that were just like things like this, where we were going from election.com.
This is the correct one, Rachel?
Where?
Right here.
Yeah, the one that we're looking at is right. So it's something, you know, when you like accept track changes, it got messed up.
So when he accepted the track changes, all of the changes just automatically got accepted, so you couldn't follow them in there anymore. So this new one has all of the changes in their entirety, so that you can follow through, because scrolling through is kind of.
So it's on the front page of the drive, so I just smacked it right there. So you don't have to.
So, yeah, that's just clarifying that they all submit null signature reports. But yeah, that's just a clarification thing. So we're adding honor student council. We did a resolution for that. We're just keeping them in there, and then they don't want write-in winners, so we're not gonna write winners.
It's in the drive. On the first page of the drive.
So far, other than honor student council, the only thing other than grammar has been expenditure reports. Just to clarify that a null expenditure report also must be submitted. Nick Smart, what are you doing on my computer? I hate you.
Senator Powers?
Point of personal preference.
Yes, ma'am.
Senator Powers, College of Education, just to make the chair aware, the copy that is on the front page, very convenient, doesn't have the changes, so it's just a
Okay,
black
so
and white
even
copy.
if I share this, it's
So
not showing.
right, it's not showing you.
Well, this is literally what I just shared.
No, I know. He's got it screwed up in the settings so that only people who are editing on it, I guess, can see the changes.
Can you share it and make it editable and then have no one touch it?
This is why it would be nice. Let me see. You want like a Google Drive expert?
I mean, I use Pinterest.
They need to be able
Yeah.
to see on
Do
the.
y'all mind if like while they're figuring this out, I can keep explaining it to y'all and then you can look?
Okay, so this right here, it said pre-campaign, so it's just clarifying what the pre-campaign period is. And so what would happen is it says it was after filing, but before general campaign, which is kind of iffy because filing is on a Friday, mandatory candidates meeting is on a Sunday. So that's just clarifying that those are back to back. It goes straight from pre-campaign at the end of mandatory candidates meeting. That's all that was happening there. Okay.
All right. No one edit this. We'll be able to tell.
Yeah, I lost track. Sorry, all of this just happened when Camden was here to take such stuff.
Sorry. Okay. Send a link out to y'all. It should be able to show those changes. If you would like to pull up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so the next thing is that B, it says purchase of such retreat shall be in order for campaign staff to prepare the upcoming campaign process. It already says that. That is just clarifying it because the wording above that is like allocation off campus, non-accessible general student populations kind of, there was some issues that came up with that. And so that's just clarifying that retreats held in the pre-election period are intended for campaign staff to prepare, not for any other purpose. Pre-election period, that's just making the wording more consistent. So what happened here is media, it used to say speak to local or campus media outlets, and there were issues where it had like national media outlets, where people would want to do things like the Odyssey, is that what it's called, like a national paper, and so that's just saying didn't speak to any media outlets because it really doesn't make a difference who they speak to. And so that should be, so right there where it says local, that's wrong. That's supposed to be,
Sorry. Okay, in committee, this was supposed to be taken out to all be consistent to where it's only media outlets. Any media, because some people were talking about, well, like what if the BBC wants to sponsor my SVP campaign, or like, I don't know if anybody actually did that, but like, it's, so the international, national, whatever kind of media outlets, like it's not just people.
And we changed it in the middle, shall, I don't know why it's not. Oh, we took out written. It says shall be allowed to submit written material, and it's just going to be material. If you want to submit a photo to the bat, that's allowed. It just clarifies that. It doesn't have to be written material. If you go down to modified campaigning, oh, no, go back up. No, go on. So what it said was that modified campaigning shall be limited to holding signs and wearing campaign shirts, and we're changing it to say campaign apparel, because in another part of the election regulations, it defines what campaign apparel is, and that's like backpack tags, hats, pants. And so if I'm modified campaigning, all of a sudden you can't have a backpack tag, that doesn't really make sense, so it should just say campaign apparel. And so we're just clarifying that. And then below that, social media purchases must be made prior to these days, including the expense report. That is just clarifying that if you were to buy a Facebook ad on Wednesday, as long as it's included in your report, that is allowed for something that's occurring on modified campaigning. So you can run a Facebook ad through the end. And that already happened. We're just clarifying that.
That was because on Thursday or Friday during campaigning, you can't purchase any more ads and make any more purchases. However, like if you purchase it before those days and your ad just runs through Thursday and Friday, that is acceptable. So just making sure that anybody who does that knows that.
Yeah.
For those of y'all who aren't as familiar.
So the candidate's guide, and so it used to say that you could not, that the commission could not publish the candidate guide earlier than 7 days following the mandatory candidates meeting, which means I couldn't put the candidate guide out until 7 p.m. the week after. fall campaigning, that doesn't even make sense because voting would have already happened, so you can't even have a candidate guide in the fall based on what it said. And then in the spring, there's no reason to hold off on the candidate guide. When if it's submitted on Thursday, we can have it up Friday, have more students know who the candidates are. So that's just saying it has to be done prior to start voting. That's not a thing, it just, the number was there on accident. Okay, so candidates must appear immediately to all rulings and directives issued by the election commissioner. This was already in here, but it's saying that failure to do so is going to be a major violation. This year, that came up where we did vote on it as a major violation. It's just clarifying that that specifically is what it's going to be. So there's not any, I guess, leniency on whether defying the election commission would be a major violation. And that's just if you're told to do something that you specifically choose not to do it. This is just clarifying the online reporting system, and so basically clarifying what can be submitted through the online violation report system. Okay, so this is candidates should not be allowed to wear any uniform, polo, or attire specific to and/or bearing. Should that be highlighted because we changed the wording of that?
No, it's fine.
Okay, and or bearing the logo of any organization for which the candidate is campaigning. And so we added the regulation because we had violations come up this election season in regards to RHA, where people were campaigning wearing certain polos or logos, and it was kind of seen as an endorsement by the organization for a candidate. And so the idea behind this is that we don't want to give any candidates an unfair advantage by representing an organization. So if I'm running for something and my competitor, isn't going to have as much of a fair chance, people think I'm being endorsed by that organization because I'm already wearing the attire. And so that's the purpose behind that. It's not to take away the yellow ears' ability to wear the whites. We know who the yellow ears are. It's just to give people a more even playing field when they're campaigning, and taking away that polo endorsement, logo, anything like that is just going to make it more fair. This is clarifying right now, so the campaign rally during campaigning season.
Is this a question or a motion?
Question.
Okay. Sorry, I'm
Are we
paying
asking
attention.
questions in the middle?
No, I'm taking.
Okay.
So keep your placards up. You got a question, please.
So campaigning, during general campaigning, they are not allowed to have more than 4 people at one campaign site, which doesn't really make sense if you're trying to have a campaign rally during general campaigning. Only 4 people from your campaign staff would be there. So this is just clarifying that you can have more than 4 if you're having a rally in Rutter Plaza or something. This is just clarifying photos of live animals. I had someone very insistent that they could have a picture with their cow.
Running for ag stuff, like even if you're ag, you cannot have pictures. It does not only pertain to Reveille, and you also can't have like a live tiger endorsing you. Like just don't do weird stuff while you're campaigning. We're adding this regulation about the bulk mail system, and so you're allowed to do bulk mail, so you can send out an email to as many people as you want, but using the bulk mail system specifically at bulkmail.cambria.edu, bulk mail doesn't like that. So we're taking that away. That's going to be a violation. You cannot do that. They will get mad.
2 minutes remaining.
Cool. And then last thing is clarifying that videos created in support of a candidate are going to be.
Oh, that's a question, sorry.
Okay.
So this is just clarifying that videos are campaign materials and that the things in a video are going to be subject to regulation. Violations will not be accepted more than 48 hours after. That's just clarifying that there's going to be an end limit to when violations can be reported, so that people are still reporting violations to me a week after anything happened. Keep going.
That was also already a thing. That's not a new thing. It's just being clarified in this document because it was found in other places, and it was there was some confusing wording where we weren't sure where other people weren't sure if it was 48 or 72 hours. So.
And this is last one. This is clarifying basically what obstruction to free and fair nature of voting is, and specifically what can be a violation of that. And so that's just going to clarify can operate a polling location without the consent of election commissioner. And specifically, it says that candidates and their staff cannot ask students to vote in their presence, and that pressuring students to vote is against their own volition is going to be a violation. That's going to fall under major offenses.
Please look at that if you have it open. The wording of that is really important. If you have questions about it, please ask them.
Yeah. I mean,
Point of personal privilege.
Yes, Chair Clark.
Chair Clark, Food Services, can you leave it there for a while so we can all read that? Because it's very.
I don't know what else is left.
We can
Just the
go.
blue part.
Well, they're not, they need to be able to go through.
Can we come back up to it once
Okay,
we're done
yes,
presenting
yes.
for you? Thank you.
1 minute.
oops, we're almost.
I think they're good.
You have to submit 2 expense reports, yeah, for consistency, that's been a thing for a while, just again, reiterating it, re-clarifying it. Some more grammar stuff, changing all tamuelection.com to election.tamu.edu.
And that will be up before the fall. This is clarifying specifically who can vote, so right now, this is already what has been done, it's just clarifying it in the election regulations, that it's going to be College Station, Bush School, or law school, health science institute. That's just clarifying something. We took that out. Student shall have the right to vote online, because that's the same thing, going back to the other thing. And that's just clarifying what happens in the case that someone is found not to be eligible before the results have been certified, and that is just making that more clear. Yeah, we're done.
Okay, great. The period of presentation is now expired. We'll now move into a period of question and answer. You can go back to that one section that Chair Clark was talking about. We'll move into a period of question and answer, and I will actually begin by recognizing myself, Speaker Hood. Could y'all, in the committee meeting, one of the things that the committee removed was the fact that one of the things that the committee removed was there was a provision added that if you get impeached from the Student Senate, you're no longer allowed to run for the Student Senate. We already have a rule in place that if you absence out, you're not allowed to run. So that was added here, but it was removed. Can you walk the Senate body through that, please?
Okay, so the only thing that the RR committee voted unanimously to remove from this document that had been a proposed change was that if you are a senator and you are impeached, you may not rerun for another session. We decided as your RR committee that we did not feel that that should be included in these regulations for a couple of different reasons. And I'm also going to give you the information before I go into it, that as it stands right now, if you absence out, you cannot rerun. The reason why RR decided that those two things were not equal were for the following reasons. When an impeachment trial is happening in this Senate body, the leadership has the option to impose what's called a sanction. So during an impeachment trial, any person who's being impeached can also be voted to be sanctioned. So when you're impeaching someone, it simply means that whatever transgression that they have opposed against the Senate, and we feel like they are no longer eligible to be part of this body, when you impeach someone, that impeachment term ends when the Senate term ends. So basically what you're saying when you impeach someone is that you are no longer welcome to be part of this body for this term, right? So everything that happened back in the fall, because we decided not to sanction them, they are allowed to rerun on the grounds that they were only impeached. During those impeachment trials, we had the option to sanction them, and that was not brought up. Nobody wanted to sanction these people back when the impeachments were going on. If someone gets sanctioned, it gets voted on by the entire Senate, just like impeachment does. If someone gets sanctioned, then they can no longer campaign and run for a Senate seat at all during their time at Texas A&M. So we decided to leave that, to take that part out, because it's, number one, it's as your RR committee, it felt like it was redundant and kind of unnecessary, and also that it went after certain individuals, and it was not necessary to revisit all of that all over again. That was what happened at the RR committee meeting. Some of the arguments against that were but if you absence out, you're no longer allowed to rerun. So if you commit transgressions worthy of impeachment, why are you allowed to rerun? Again, it's only because sanctioning is already an option. It was not exercised by this body for reasons that were discussed. We can discuss those now if y'all really feel it's necessary. I would just go with just trust us. And also, if you absence out, that's you willingly saying I no longer care enough about this body to show up when there are policies put in place where you can fill out forms to not absence out. So there is a gray area there. However, if you absence out, you're not allowed to be part of the body again or rerun for it because you've had the seat and you've proven that you didn't care enough to show up and do it justice. Impeachment and sanctioning is a totally different thing. So that is something, if y'all have questions about, please feel free
raise your placards, acting like he was.
If I could just clarify, so when we added that, kind of our feelings, I personally really don't care either way. The problem right now is that it isn't very consistent. And so elections this spring, that was something that kind of people had already assumed was in there, was that impeachment bars you from running. And we realized very quickly that that wasn't true. And so my only point is that, one, consider how it looks to the student body if someone was impeached and that the student body became aware of that and then was able to run again in a race where a lot of which were unopposed and would basically win a seat pretty much automatically. And keep in mind how that looks to the student body if overall, if that were to happen, but also that it's not very consistent right now that you can
30 seconds.
run and not be able to run because of absences, but still be allowed to run from impeachment.
Senator
So my
Clark.
only point is just to keep it consistent.
Senator Clark, do you have a motion?
I am done.
Yep.
Clark.
Or Senator Clark, I'm sorry.
Roberts.
Roberts.
Still said it wrong. Senator Robert Collins of Liberal Arts, I have a motion to extend the period of question and answer by 5 minutes.
Motion made, extend period of question and answer by 5 minutes. Seeing multiple seconds, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Here's the chair, that passes unanimously.
So our goal in adding that was just to make it seem fair on both ends and that I don't see them as.
But now that y'all heard, that's kind of setting you up to speed on what happened at the Army. Please remember that some of that, we do have one more meeting, so if this ends up being like a huge contingent debate, we can send this back to committee and everybody's welcome to show up to the R meeting so we can discuss it when our chair is present. If it comes down to that, just reminding everybody that that's an option. Or we just pass this.
Great. I will now move to Senator Lander.
Senator, let me report to this caucus. So if I'm running for Corps Cadet Senator, can I wear a uniform?
Yes, that would not count. So the way it's written,
Please stay in order.
Do you want to find it? It's,
that's
you're
you.
more familiar with it than I.
You're out of
It's
order.
written in there where, any, that the Corps Cadets Caucus and Corps Cadets are, exempt from from that rule, because obviously y'all have to wear uniforms to class and everywhere else, basically. So but it is in there. We rewrote that.
we rewrote it specifically keeping that in mind. Yep. And also, that's something too that'd be up to the interpretation of the election commissioner, and they're not gonna stop the Corps Cadets Caucus from.
Great, we'll move to Senator Hernandez.
Senator Hernandez, on campus caucus. If the rule regarding uniforms was brought up by RH Shea, would you be open to making a small amendment excluding the yell leaders from such rule?
Say that again. They want to know if the uniform rule has to apply to yell leaders or if we can amend it.
I think it is possible for it to be amended. I think it's important that it's in there and it's not directed at the yell leaders. I'd rather it pass in its entirety, but I do think it needs to be in there in general. So
it can be amended, yes.
Sir Roberts.
Senator Robert Collins of Liberal Arts, so with the uniforms, would that go for, let's say I'm running for Senate and then I decide to hold a rally and I wear my Senate shirt, would that include that? On
I
the,
still can't. Can you control that one?
I believe so. Yeah, sorry, Macross. Yes, that would count. You should not, basically, the way this is written, you shouldn't be wearing anything that has your organization if you're already in it. Because it's not fair to people who may be running against you just because you're an incumbent and you have, you're not walking around with an endorsement from Senate just because you have a PR shirt. Right, so yes, if you hold a rally, that would be awesome, but please don't.
It's like for the purposes, yeah, for the purposes of campaigning.
thank you.
Senator Moore.
Sorry, more off campus. Have y'all thought about allowing those who hold those positions now to just let them wear their polos or uniforms and not let anybody else who's like campaigning for them wear stuff that would represent that?
No, so it's specifically applying to candidates. It's saying the candidates themselves should not be allowed to wear that. It's in order to make it a more even playing field. And so if everyone that is in Senate, already is running their Senate polo and the Senate things and they're running against people that haven't been in there, then people are going to see that kind of as an endorsement by the government or by RHA for the positions that they're running for.
I'll put you at the end.
If you're campaigning and people are around you and you're holding a rally as Senator Moore and all of your friends show up and they're in Senate shirts, fine. These are only candidates. So we wouldn't want you in your Senate shirt on Facebook or at a rally or holding a banner or something like that. That's all.
Ad hoc, Senator Gutierrez.
Withdrawn.
Senator Krogh.
Senator Krogh, off-campus caucus, in Article 4, Section 1C43, this is discussing candidates speaking to the press. There's a part that hasn't been edited recently, but it kind of calls into question the legitimacy of the statement. It says, candidates may only be included in articles or stories written by employees or freelance writers of a local or campus media outlet. I would question y'all as to why you have it written that way, because candidates can't control the fact that somebody else decides to write a publication about them. Is that it? Please.
50 seconds.
I'm gonna let her take this one.
So obviously, I didn't write that. That's been in there for years.
Senator Roberts.
Senator Roberts, Positive Liberal Arts, have a motion to extend the period of question and answer by 3 minutes.
All right. Motion been made, extended by 3, multiple seconds. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. You're the chair, that passes unanimously. May continue.
I mean, I think freelance writer speaks for itself, that anyone can be a freelance writer. And so if you're a freelance writer on a campus media outlet, then I think that covers it. If you're included in something that isn't a media outlet, then you wouldn't apply to that. So if you're just included in a blog post, then you're not gonna get a violation for that.
Right, but shouldn't it also include the word national, since the next sentence, I'll refer to that
Oh,
in.
no, that's out of order. Please limit the back and forth. I've worn the body multiple times that today. Can we please go to Chair Clark?
Chair Clark, Student Services. So just for clarification, sanctioning includes Senate, exec, anything in the committees. If you are voted to be sanctioned, then that means you can't be an SG at all, correct?
From,
After me.
I think,
I believe so.
I think so.
Yeah, as far as I know, yes. I was using the Senate portion, obviously, because that's something that hits home with all of us, but I believe so, yeah. So
From my
if you get
understanding-
sanctioned, like, you can't move from like Senate and like go apply for EVP, like no, you're done.
I believe it's holding any office in Student Government Association, I believe. That's interesting.
Thank you. All right, Senator Compton, 2.5 minutes remaining.
Senator Compton, freshman, as it's written here, is it, are there any exceptions in place, like for an RHA president to wear it at an official meeting, or any senator at a time to wear a Senate shirt, just in general?
It's only while you're
It's
campaigning.
for the purposes of
For the purpose of campaigning. If it's during the however many weeks of campaigning and you're RHA president and you have to be at an event and you need to be wearing your RHA polo, nobody's gonna stop you from doing that. It's just while campaigning.
All right, we'll now move to Senator Moore.
Senator Moore, so what's the difference between people campaigning for you wearing the shirts and uniforms and the organization and you wearing?
It's just applying to candidates. So it's saying that candidates are going to be endorsed. And so, I mean, if everyone on your team, if you're a senator and you're running for Senate, I guess if everyone on your team is also a senator and they all want to wear Senate shirts, they can, but it's used specifically to candidates, what it's talking about. And it's really talking about like public, it's really to apply like, your Facebook profile picture, vote for me, I'm wearing my Senate shirt. That's what's going to be prohibited.
And that's also for violation purposes, right? So you're not gonna get a violation as a candidate if you're walking around seeing with somebody who's in a Senate shirt next to you. However, like, if you are campaigning in your stuff, making it look like you are endorsed when you are not necessarily, and putting other people and other Aggies at a disadvantage, you will get a violation for that if you get reported, right? So like, it's not saying anybody around you on your campaign team can't wear whatever the heck they want to wear. It's just while you are campaigning, you need to be cognizant of the message that you're sending out. And if you break that, you could now get a violation. That's all.
All right, with 30 seconds remaining, Senator Hernandez, I got you approved.
I have a motion.
Please state your motion.
Senator Hernandez, on campus coverage, I motion to extend the period of question and answer by 2 minutes.
Motion made, extend the period of question and answer by 2 minutes, multiple seconds. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. You're the chair, that passes unanimously. 2 minutes been added.
So Article 3, Section 2, with regards to impeachment, it says, any student senator removed from office because of excessive absences for impeachment shall not be allowed to file for any student government. And
So impeachment is what I added, they put impeachment out.
Yes, impeachment was removed during the week.
I added the word, or I added or impeachment. It didn't say anything.
so our senators who were in commission.
Please. You're out of order. Senator Krogh.
Senator Krogh, off-campus caucus, following up on the previous senator's question, can you please clarify as to how this rule would apply to those who have absence out versus those who have been impeached?
Right, so if you've absence out, nothing changed, nothing changes. If you've absence out, you cannot rerun for Senate. If you are impeached, you may rerun for Senate as long as you have not been sanctioned. If you have been sanctioned, you may not run for anything within SGA at all. Is that?
And that's what it currently is.
That's what it is.
And so my proposal was to add impeachment to make it more even. I mean, I think if you're gonna not have impeachment in there, then you should just take out the absence day and let anyone run. But that's just.
But your RR committee,
RR took
that's the only thing that RR took out of this entire document was that even if you're impeached, you may rerun again as long as you haven't been sanctioned to keep it consistent with the rest of SGA rules and code and bylaws.
And what they took out just makes it read what it already read.
Right, so it doesn't make any changes to any of the rules. We basically vetoed the change.
Yeah.
To say if you've been impeached, you can't rerun. Does that help clear everybody? Just not that.
So like, if it goes now, it doesn't change, whatever it goes.
Right, Senator Westbrook.
Withdrawn.
Senator Krogh, Julia.
So if you're wearing like just plain senator's like PR t-shirt that says Senate on it, and you're just wearing it to class, and it is during campaign season, but you're not promoting yourself at the moment, is that okay? Or could that be grounds?
But that's gonna be up to the election commissioner. The thing is, you'll have a violation reported on you, and the way it reads is that it's for campaigning. And so they're not,
it's completely up to the election commissioner at that point. If somebody takes a picture of you and you're sitting in class studying, like chances are the election commissioner's probably gonna have some mercy on you. But if you wanna play it safe, you just don't wear your PR shirt. Yeah, you know
It's the
what I
same thing
mean?
with any violation. You can read anything and find some crazy way it could be a violation, but it's up to the election commissioner to have discretion on that.
With 45 seconds remaining, Senator Hernandez.
Withdrawn.
Senator Krogh.
Senator Krogh, off-campus caucus, following up on the previous senator's question again, different question first. Are you basically saying we can't wear our favorite t-shirts for 2 weeks in order to prove our own previously earned credentials?
Yes, that is what's being said, and it's only because we've had issues reported this year where.
20 seconds remaining.
Heard you go read the document. Yeah. where
Senator Westbrook, do you have a motion?
Senator Westbrook, I'll have a motion.
Please state your motion.
To extend.
You're out of order, Chair Clark.
To extend the period of question and answer by 5 more minutes.
5 minutes, sitting multiple seconds. Who said nay? Perkins, you're out of order as well. Thank you for. Motion made to extend the question and answer by 5 minutes, sitting multiple seconds. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
Division has been called. All in favor, please stand. That still fails. You got 20 seconds. Senator Roberts, do you have a motion? Hey, stay in order, please.
Senator Roberts calls the local law to have a motion to extend the period of question and answer by a minute and a half.
Motion made to extend the period of question and answer by a minute and a half. See multiple seconds. Please, it's okay. Minute and a half, it's been made. Multiple seconds, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
Here's the chair that passes. You may continue.
So get on this really quick. Again, there's an RHA violation, that's filed, where one person was wearing the RHA polo, the other person was not. They put it in automatic.
And they were both in RHA. This isn't like word. It just wasn't, it was seen as if they were being endorsed by the organization. And in order to make it fair for all candidates who are running, we want to make it just have none. And it's not that hard to just not wear that.
Moving you to the end. Senator Westbrook.
Senator Westbrook off campus. So we can't do this. So in the U.S. Senate or U.S. House, there are a lot of flanking privileges. So you're saying you earn off, you're not allowed to use that flanking privilege you earned.
Okay, this is not the U.S. This is not the U.S. This is Tampa Student Senate. I think that if you are that good of a senator that you deserve flanking privileges, you probably don't need to be wearing your Senate shirt because everybody's gonna already know who you are within your caucus, right? Like, I'm not trying to have a big answer, but like, it's not necessary to wear a t-shirt if you're already that good.
And to clarify, I think most of y'all campaigns with suits on anyway, so.
Right, and I know like very successful senators within this room who did not need to wear a Senate PR shirt. I don't know to get their.
Everyone, please stay in order.
You have like beautiful numbers for your Instagram likes that I will never see numbers like that. And you're going to be a senator.
You got 20 seconds remaining.
Next.
Chair Day. 15 seconds.
No.
Okay. 10 seconds remaining. Are there any other questions? Senator Krogh with 5 seconds remaining. Withdrawn. Time's expired. Period of question and answer is now closed. We'll move to a period of debate. Reminder to everyone, you're debating against. Hold up the fist like this. You're debating for. I want to see them palms. Okay, motion's been made. Point person has been made. Stop. We begin with debate again, starting at 2.5 minutes. Debate is limited to 15 minutes on a bill unless debate is extended. Yes. Chair Day, do you have a motion?
I have a motion.
Please briefly state your motion.
I have a motion to suspend the rules which prevent me from speaking in this debate.
You're out of order because you didn't say your name in caucus. Yes, Senator Powers.
Senator Powers, House of Education, I have a motion to extend what is it? Suspend the rules so that Chair Day can, participate in debate.
Is that point of order from the chair? Actually, is that in the code, or is it in the is in Robert's Rules of Order? It's in the if it's in the code, if dress code's in the code, you cannot suspend the code. You cannot suspend the code because if you could suspend the code, you could suspend the fact that student body president, student body president. So, yes, Chair Day.
Point of information, Taylor Day Finance. Is it or is it not true that during the 67th session, we did at one point suspend the rules for someone who was not dressed appropriately for Senate and did allow them to debate?
To answer your question, that was 2 years prior. I believe that I am the chair. So I'm just saying, I make the rulings. Now, you can vote to override the chair by a 2/3 vote. So you may do that, but based on my interpretation of the code, you cannot amend the bylaws, you cannot amend rules. So, sorry, but that's my decision. It is final unless you overturn me by a 2/3 vote. I guess that's the first time you'll know that, isn't it? So we'll now move into a period of debate against. Is there any debate against? I'll begin with Senator Krogh. You have 2.5 minutes starting at Howdy.
Hi, Senate.
Howdy.
So I'm Senator Krogh, off-campus caucus, and as y'all heard tonight, we've got a lot of questions, a lot of issues to bring up with the proposed bill here. I would like to bring up the fact that this body represents the core value of excellence. And so if we have any questions continuing from where the presenters have left off tonight, I think this bill should go back to committee and that we should consider it further, be able to bring more of our questions together, attend those meetings, really develop our ideas and goals, because these kinds of rules are going to be implemented most likely for a very long time. And I think our legacy, present, and future should be to do our very best and our utmost work in order to understand the document, to make sure that it's the highest quality, and to go forward with excellence into the coming years. And so I propose that we move this bill to committee, not formally, but for you guys to do that later tonight. And with that, I yield to.
Was that a motion, or are you just?
I'm just jesting.
Okay.
I yield to the floor.
Floor has been yielded to. We'll now move to debate for the regulations, beginning with Senator Roberts.
Howdy, Senate. I believe this bill is honestly fine. It's clear cut. I mean, it's very simple to understand. there was just some mix up there earlier, but I mean, like, there's really like no confusion. It's honestly clear cut saying like, you can't wear your shirt if you're campaigning. I mean, that's obviously a simple step because we're usually in suits, we're campaigning dressed up nice because we want to represent ourselves well. So for that reason, for example, the shirt thing is very clear cut. I mean, it is what it is. Just don't wear anything that gives you an advantage. And I think that's very simple to understand. We're all college students, we're all smart, we got here for a reason. I mean, if you can't understand that, then reread it maybe. Maybe just reread it to get a clear understanding or talk to maybe someone in RR, like Senator Ferguson, but with that, I yield to Senator Ferguson.
Okay,
Senator Ferguson, you have 1 minute and 30 seconds.
cool. Okay, howdy y'all. This was not supposed to be something that like is supposed to be a hot topic. These are all just issues that came up this year. Our current election commissioner had a really rough year, and she wanted to rewrite some of these rules and clarify things so that the next election commissioner wouldn't have such a hard time and could focus on helping people get elected or whatever it is that the election commissioner does outside of that, but like not this crap. Okay, so this is not supposed to be like that big of a deal. If you really want to send it back to committee on account of like you can't wear your PR shirt for a couple of weeks, send it back to committee, that's fine. But the only reason that it's being brought up is because it was an issue. It took away from things. And honestly, our election commissioner has put in a lot of things to like make this easier on future Aggies. And if you ask me, like that's selfless service. That's what we're here to do. So there's nothing else in here really that's like a hot button issue other than the impeachment stuff. And that's been explained thoroughly. So if you have problems with that, I would really like to get that debated. Other than that, I really would encourage the body to pass this on through. And if there are issues next year, this is a good baseline to start and get re-amended for the next election commissioner, because every year this can get better. But by sidelining this and keeping it from getting passed, you're just holding us back to the same place we were this past year. And our election commissioner can tell you that was not necessarily a good place.
Please finish your sentence.
Do our job as senators and pass it through to a better student government.
Okay, we'll now move back to debate against. Is there any debate against? Seeing you, but just as a rule, Senator Sweet, if you already debated, reminder, okay, just a reminder for everyone, if you've already debated against, you can't debate against again until everyone else is given a chance to debate against. Senator Sweet.
Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
I just want to voice a quick opinion. However, I am going to vote for this bill to move forward.
Then you are out of order for debating against. Yes.
As I was, and I will be voting no.
No, you're out of order. I guess we got Senator Crowe.
Point of information.
Yes, Senator Clark, or Chair Clark.
Chair Clark, Student Services. We're in debate against now?
Yes, we're in debate against.
Was,
Debate for, it went debate against,
okay,
debate for, debate for,
cool.
debate against.
Just want to make sure. Cool.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
All right, you'll have 2.5 minutes starting, Adam.
Oh, thanks. Howdy. So, some points was brought up there all about this being about Instagram likes and wearing a favorite t-shirt and all that. And I know these kinds of things are humorous, and maybe a little were probably pointed at me specifically. But let's just kind of take things to the big picture here. You all know about the national news headlines that came out this past spring, about the attention that we got as a university, and a lot of the complications that led to some very unwanted attention and outcomes that are, I'm not going to comment on that. But you guys know these are the guidelines that decide those outcomes, and if we can't be particular about the nitty-gritty details that really decide what's going to happen in the next several years, Trent University, what is our job? We have to uphold the highest standards, especially when it comes to these kinds of documents, especially when it comes to electing our future leaders. And so I would ask you to go ahead and reconsider this for the sake of the future. Whole line of Chair Clark.
All right, have you yielded to Chair Clark?
Yes.
Chair Clark, Student
You have 2 minutes,
I'll have to do that.
or you got 1.5 minutes.
Well, howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
Because I know this is an important thing about impeachment, and we think that senators who have been impeached out of this body should not be able to come back and run. I move to make an amendment to.
Please briefly state your amendment.
Okay, to add the language about impeachment that our election commissioner had already in there.
Reinsert the language concerning impeachment. If you're impeached, you can no longer run for the Senate. Back into the code. Are there any seconds to hear this amendment? Some enthusiastic seconds. Seeing multiple, you may now proceed with the presentation.
Okay, again, basically adding the language that our election commissioner wanted to add. I think it's important. I think a lot of senators are for this, and so that's why I moved to put this amendment back in. So with that, I'm open for questions.
No, there's no questions, but the amendment has been made. Commissioner Keithley?
Yes.
Is the amendment, or is the language still in here?
It should be under the track change. It's gonna be like strike through.
Okay.
It should say it's under,
Command F impeachment,
jurisdiction.
or Control F, I guess.
Yeah, Control F, absence or something like that.
Remember, this is an amendment. We'll now be moving into debate on the amendment, beginning with debate against. Yes. Senator Powers.
Senator Powers, Public Education. So this impeachment would withdrawn.
Okay. Sir Ferguson, do you have a motion? Okay. Is it up?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. We'll now move into a period of debating, beginning with debate against. Debate is 2.5 minutes, both sides, 3 rotations, 15 minutes total, beginning with Senator Trevino.
Senator Trevino, okay, howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
Want to make sure I'm in uniform, so I'll get my second line of order. So I agree. I think that this is a good thing. This bill is a good thing, but I think we should make an amendment regarding the elevators. We already made one for the Corps of Cadets.
He hasn't made an amendment yet, but you, point of order is an
I thought it
motion.
was.
I would like to make an amendment. That's
But point of order.
Right, yes, Chair Clark.
Is it in order for you to do that during amendment?
That's it. Oh.
Unless he's amending the amendment.
But for information.
Yes.
Is he amending the?
I didn't know this was in regards to the amendment.
Yes, this is in regards to the amendment. Well, the floor has been yielded to. We'll now move into debate for this amendment for reinserting impeachment into the code, and we will begin debate 4, starting with, yes.
Okay, point of information.
Senator Ferguson.
One senator was gonna debate against,
Mhm.
but then was wrong about it. Shouldn't it go back to debate against?
Well, he'd already began his debate against, and he was about 20 seconds in, and then he yielded the floor rather than yielding it to someone else.
Even though it was for the wrong part and he was out of order for amendment.
Well, he was out of, if you're out of order during debate, then it automatically goes the other side, debate does.
Just making sure.
All right. We'll now move to a period of debate for the amendment, beginning with myself. Howdy, Senate. This is something that I am extremely passionate about. I'm always holding ourselves to a higher standard than what we would ideally hold ourselves to. I think we put the impeachment back in here. What we are seeing a message to the student body is that if we make a decision in one session that someone's not fit to be in the student senate because they've broken our rules and they've broken our code, then why in the world would they be acceptable for the next time around? Especially when it takes a 2/3 vote, especially when it takes an overwhelming majority of the Senate to do so in a closed session. Why would we ever give them the option of coming back into the Senate body? This is a privilege, and I think each and every one of you earned this privilege, and you want to guard that and guard it jealously. I would also like to add, the reason why impeachment was not moved forward, or the motion to stay was not moved forward last year, I want to just put this out in the open, was because the only option that we had was to ban it from SJ entirely, which under our interpretation meant that they could not be part of any of the 18 organizations within the Student Government Association either, which means they couldn't have been a part of TRADCO, Big Event, Muster, any of those things. So if anything, this is less punitive than if we were to go forward and say you can't be part of SJ at all, be it by a sanction. So that was why the decision was made, is we wanted the individual organizations that the individuals who were impeached may or may not have been part of to be able to make that decision on their own. rather than us step into their boundaries and go ahead and say, we say you're banned from SGA completely. And that's why we made that decision. And that's why I believe that we already say if you've asked us out 6 times, you're out, you can't be back. I think impeachment is an even higher level of violation of the trust of the student body than absenting out. And that's why I believe that we need to put this back in here to make sure that the students, that if you're impeached, you can't come back for the next session. That I yield to the floor.
Oh, damn it. All right, with that, the yield to the floor. It's been a long day, guys. The floor has been yielded to. Is there any debate for? Against. Senator Ferguson. Hey, Joseph.
Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
So, I don't necessarily have a problem, and if you guys want to amend this and pass it through tonight based on this, that's what this body is for. And I would appreciate that that's your opinion. However, the problem that I have with this were things that were brought up at the meeting. Sanctioning is already an option. A part of the reason, which was discussed at the RR meeting, why the sanctioning didn't happen was because leadership in this room did not trust other leadership in this room based on previous relationships with those who were being impeached, and I have a problem with that. If you're going to impeach someone and you want to sanction them because their actions are worthy of sanctioning, then you sanction them. We had that opportunity and we didn't take it. And the reason that we didn't take it is because leadership in this room couldn't trust other people, specifically the RR chair, because of guilty by association from previous years. This is not about like the honor of the room anymore. This is about leadership. So I heard a lot tonight about being passionate about this, about guarding this room. The option to guard this room is already available. This is not about guarding the room anymore. This is about leadership. I don't think that a leader has to do the right thing because it's written down in another place via this document. It's already in our code, and it should already be in your integrity as an Aggie to do so. Imagine the opposite. Imagine if someone is impeached for an offense that's really not that bad, and they want to come back and serve the students. I think that person should be allowed to do so. That's the difference between sanctioning and impeachment. That's why we have a difference now. And so that's what I would encourage you to consider while you're voting against this. Or voting for this, voting against it, whatever you're doing.
Senator Powers.
Point of information, in the code, is it specifically, Senator Power called it education, is it specifically called sanctioning? Like, is there any other language that could be used? It might be referred to the person.
I would not be sure who to defer that to. I would defer to the RR chair or Bree Ferguson.
As far as I know, it's just listed as sanctioning. I've never heard any other language for it. I don't know where it's at. I know that it's an option. If that's something, like if the wording in the code is something that bothers y'all, then I think you should send this back to committee, and that this should be debated again when the RR chair is here, who can clear that up on the grammar part. But as far as I know, it's not called anything else.
20 seconds.
This is no longer an issue of rules. The rules are already in place to take care of this and to do so.
Senator Westbrook.
Senator Westbrook, off campus, I have a motion.
What's your motion?
I move the previous question.
Yes, sir.
He doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to.
No, it needs to be debated against. Yeah. Out of order.
It's supposed to be able to interrupt speaking because y'all have different.
We're in a period of debate though, so you'd have to be.
He's out of order.
And here it's different, but I'm pretty sure the previous question interrupted me. It's a motion that has the ability to interrupt.
Yes, but not in debate, so you're out of order. Please sit down.
Okay, to finish up, the only difference is that sanctioning applies to all of SGA, and there's no reason why if you're gonna sanction somebody out of student senate, they shouldn't be sanctioned out of other student government entities, if it's that important and it means that much to you. So this is food for thought. I would encourage you to come to the next RR meeting. Some of the time something like this comes up, and with that, I'm going to the previous question.
Previous question has been moved.
Takes 2/3. Second, or 2/3, let's move it.
So just go ahead and move it.
So there's seconds, or there's seconds?
Are there any seconds to move the previous question? 1, 2, 1. Okay. All in favor of moving to previous question? We need 2/3 in order to move the previous question. Please say aye.
Aye.
Senator.
Point of information, can you clarify what that question would mean to the body?
So this point or moving to previous question at this point would go back to the original voting of for or against, or debating for or against the original bill, I believe.
For the amendment.
Voting on the amendment.
Voting on
Okay.
Clark's amendment.
So voting on the amendment considering the, I can't read this.
Considering adding.
Or, yeah, adding impeachment or leaving it the way it is.
There's still voting.
Point of
Sorry.
information,
Yes.
like for the whole body, it has been found in the code. It is not under, it is called sanctioning, kind of in a, I don't know, like in a formal setting. It is called barring against a,
Barring impeachment of holding an office under SGA.
it's just called.
Is it above or
It's section 1C, it talks about using it.
Please stay in order.
So, for that, Article 6, Section C, something or other, you can find it. It's not under the language of sanctioning, however, it does the same thing as what we're calling sanctioning, which would bar individuals from ever holding office again, which can be voted on during the impeachment for those of you who are looking.
Okay.
Voting.
Yeah, so all in favor for moving to previous question, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
And the division has been called. All in favor for moving to previous question, please stand. Stand now or forever hold your peace, please. All opposed? And that fails. Go ahead. Oh. Did Bree, did you yield?
I ran out.
Okay, so that goes to debate 4. All right, Speaker Hood. You, 2.5.
Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
Speaker Hood. So question was just brought up about leadership. And I think it goes without saying that leadership was in direct reference to the individuals who led the impeachment last year. Among them were myself. So let's be completely candid. I didn't want to have this conversation tonight. I didn't expect to bring this up again, actually, after when? Gosh, it was last semester. I didn't expect to bring it up again after November of last year. In November, that was very, very difficult for this body, very, very difficult for myself. When the discussion was made about trust, I want it to be clear that today I trust every single person in this room. At the time, I did not, and I think you would understand why, for those of you who are here and you remember. I acknowledge that. I didn't trust everyone. I had people actively trying to get me removed every week I was here. I think that's grounds for not necessarily trusting everyone. I could be wrong. My integrity was never in question, though. And the decision that I made, when I made that decision, was in regards to the fact that, again, I don't lie to your seal. I didn't want to ban them from SGA completely. I thought that was up to the individual organizations. I thought that wasn't up to any other group. Secondary, impeachment was 2 weeks after the motion for impeachment was put forward. The first thing that happened was vote of no confidence. So there's 2 weeks in which anyone else who wanted to censor, anyone else who wanted to prevent them, or who wanted to, I guess, I don't know what the technical term is since we found it, anyone else who wanted to ban someone from SGA had the opportunity for 2 weeks to come and talk to me about it. No one did. I made the decision that I didn't want to drag this on. That after we impeached them, that was it. The Senate was going to move on, and we were going to keep doing the work for the students of Texas A&M. That was the decision that I made at the time. And then when I found out that one of them had decided to run, after being impeached, I said, this is something that we need to change. Because I don't want to put another speaker, another Senate body in the position of not only having to impeach someone, but then add extra things on top of that and draw out the process, bring more media attention on them, continue to draw out and harm the body.
20 seconds.
I did this to protect in the best way that I knew possible at the time as Speaker of the Student Senate. And that's why I'm standing here today. I care about this body. I care about each and every one of you. I want to make sure that this amendment is placed in there because, in my opinion, it is better to do this than to not. Actually, I'm moving the previous question.
Previous question has been yielded to. That takes a second. Seeing seconds, that is a 2/3 vote. So all in favor of moving to previous question, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. And the ayes of the chair, that passes. Yeah, I did that right. Why are you laughing? Oh, yep. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and vote on the amendment now. Just a reminder for the body, we are voting on whether we reinstitute or impeachment into these regulations or not. So all in favor to keep this or to reimpose this wording into this bill, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Nay. Division has been called. All for this amendment, or all for, this amendment, stand. Please stand if you're going to stand. Thank you. All opposed? What is that supposed to be?
2/3.
How many do we have? Roughly 40.
Where is it?
It's 24-13. Everybody sit down, please.
We're sitting on a counted one. This is going to be 45.
So looks like that passes. 2/3.
Yeah, 2/3.
Yeah.
Point of information.
Yes. Chair.
Chair Clark, Student Services. So that passed correctly?
Yes.
Okay, because everybody.
This amendment just passed.
Okay.
We'll now move, or Chair Clark, do you have the floor for debate against?
I yield.
Floor has been yielded to. We'll now move to debate for. Is there any debate for this bill? Is that against? Seeing no debate for, debate is one-sided. We'll now move to a period of vote. All right. Senator Roberts?
Just for clarification, 100%.
Yes.
The amendment, I really forgot, there was so much back and forth.
Absolutely, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Amendment was introduced. Amendment takes 2/3 vote to pass, but takes debate on the amendment. Once the amendment was done, debate was, or floor has been, once the amendment's over, it goes back to had the floor. Chair Clark, who had the floor again. He yielded the floor, then you go to debate 4. If no one debates 4, debate is one-sided, then we go into a period of voting. So now we're going to vote on this actual piece of legislation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No, that's fine. All right, any other questions?
Is it too late to debate 4?
Senator Crowe.
Can I make a motion?
I was gonna say something sassy, like, I don't know, can you? I'm out of order. Senator Crowe, you have a motion?
Yeah, I motion to suspend, the upcoming action and reopen the floor for debate against.
Well, you reopen the floor to debate 4. So actually, tell you what. Speaker Hood, I have a motion. I move to reopen the period of debate. Seeing multiple seconds, all in favor of reopening the period of debate, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
The years of chair, that passes. Debate is reopened. We'll move to debate 4. In debate 4, beginning with Senator Trevino.
Senator Trevino off campus. This is a great bill. I say we should go for it. I yield to the floor.
Floor's been yelled to. I'm going to debate against, beginning with Senator Sweet.
Senator Sweet, liberal arts. I have an amendment.
Please state your amendment.
I wish to amend Article 5, Section 2G about the uniforms, just to say that all members of the Corps of Cadets should be exempt. The current language does not include the exemption we were promised. So I just wanted to make sure that's in there before it gets passed.
All right, an amendment has been presented. Are there any seconds to hear this amendment? Seeing multiple seconds, you may come forward and present.
Howdy, Senate. I don't want to drag this out. I just don't want to get screwed over for future cadets who are running and can't wear the uniforms. It's just a minor thing. We were told that cadets would be exempt, but the language is not in there unless I'm looking at a wrong version. But I'm looking at the current Google Doc. So that's why I just want to say members of the Corps of Cadets will be exempt from that rule. That's all I want. I'm not trying to fuel the flames, do anything like that. I've got enough of that tonight. I just want to make sure future cadets.
Okay, cool. Is that up?
Yes.
Great. We'll now move to debate, beginning with debate. If y'all have debate, we'll move into debate against. There's a debate against this amendment. Yes, this is an amendment. Any debate against the amendment? Yes.
Senator Parker, College of Engineering, can we get the wording on the screen?
Absolutely. Can you submit in writing very quickly? Yeah, just come here and write it down because it's like 3 words. Chair Clark.
This can be put out to the entire body if you don't know. Are yellow leader whites considered core uniforms?
No, they're not. Yellow leader whites. The Yellow Leaders are not an organization that is part of the Corps of Cadets. It is separate of the Corps of Cadets. Now, that might be something controversial to say, but I said it. Yes, Senator Moore.
Is this so if they were running for a different caucus or for Corps of Cadets?
This is just in general, if you are a cadet, even if you're running for the Corps of Cadets Senate seat, you're still allowed to wear your uniform because everybody in the Corps wears a Corps of Cadets uniform. Unless you're Dan Rosenfield.
I said Dan.
Does that answer your question? Okay. There we go. Members of the Corps of Cadets shall be exempt from the Corps uniform, from the uniform regulations. Yeah. Is that a subsection, the one there?
I just wanted to add it as a second sentence afterwards.
Okay, just second sentence afterwards. Okay. Can we get that up there, please?
After what?
Yeah, after one. Just second sentence. All right. Okay. All right, the amendment's up for whoever had that point of personal privilege. We'll now move to a period of debate. Is there any debate against this amendment? Any debate against? Seeing none, debate is one-sided. Move to a period of voting. All in favor of passing this amendment as written, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. The year as the chair, that passes unanimously. We'll now move back to debate against. Senator Sweet, you have the floor.
I yield the floor.
Floor has been yielded to. We'll move to debate 4. This is the final round of debate 4. Debate's limited to 15 minutes unless extended. Is there any debate for this bill? You have a motion? Debate 4? Yes, Senator Ferguson.
Senator Ferguson, College of Geosciences, this is a great bill, we can pass it. Also, I move the previous question.
Previous question has been moved. Are there any seconds? Seeing multiple seconds, we'll now move into a period of vote on moving the previous question. All right, guys, all in favor of moving the previous question to go into a vote on this bill, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. Here's the chair, that passes. Now moving to period voting. All in favor of passing SB 6956, the Elections Regulations Update Act, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
Division has been called. Because this is an act, it actually takes a 2/3 vote. Am I correct? Am I wrong in that? Someone please double check on that while I get count. All in favor, please stand.
In favor.
All in favor of passing SB 6956, the Elections Regulate Update Act, so the bill that is presented to you today, please stand. And, no, never mind. Please be seated. All against, please stand. Are you standing?
What I missed.
You're voting on the bill. This is against the bill, passing it. So.
Sit down.
You need to stand or sit, man. All right. Okay.
Also, it's 2/3.
It is 2/3? Yes. Then with a vote of 21 to 20, the bill fails. All right.
No.
Yes.
Yes, Senator Powers.
Point of information, wasn't it clarified, maybe 1 or 2 meetings ago that whenever a bill passes?
Please say in order. My part.
Sorry, wasn't it clarified, Senator Powers, College of Education, a few meetings ago that you should not be celebrating after a bill passes or fails, on the other side?
Yes.
So there was not any point of order you wanted to make after what just happened?
I didn't notice, Knox. My apologies. If you did, guys, I know better. I would like to remind the body that because SB 6956 was failed, that means that we will not be considering any election regulations for the remainder of the 69th session because we have 1 meeting left. We'll now move to SB 6957, the Caucus Appropriation Act. Yes, Senator Powers.
Senator Powers, College of Education, point of information. Isn't it true that if someone voted to against, or is it
for or against the bill, that they can motion to reconsider so that we can hash out any amendments that you guys want to make in terms of why you have problems passing this bill, so that we can make sure that the next year's elections run smoothly. to the next-
Senator Ferguson? Senator Ferguson, what was your motion?
I move to reconsider this so that it can get sent back to committee so that we can hash it out.
Senator Ferguson, did you vote for this bill originally? Then it has to be someone who voted against it since it failed. Senator Westbrook.
One information, Senator Westbrook, offhand, how can we clarify for 130 I know that they actually voted for or against the bill?
Well, I can tell you with pretty clarity who did and didn't because this whole back end was the group that stood. So, yes, Senator Trevino.
I move to reconsider. Senator Trevino off campus. I move to reconsider.
When a reconsideration motion happens, does that go back into debate? It's been a while. It goes back into debate, beginning with debate against no, it's just reconsidering. We go right into reconsideration of the bill. We move back into consideration of the bill. There's, okay, hang on. Okay, when a motion, stay in order. When a motion is made to reconsider, it's been a while since one of these suckers has happened. When a motion is made to reconsider, what that means is that someone who voted on the, I guess you could say the group that quote unquote won. So if you voted on the winning side, so because the bill failed, if you voted on the side that helped fail the vote, if you can then reconsider. If a motion to reconsider is made and it is seconded, then it is automatically put back into reconsideration. There's not a debate on whether or not we reconsider. Yes, Senator Westbrook.
You can only move to reconsider if you were on the prevailing side.
Yes, prevailing side.
And was he on the side of the bill?
Yes, he was.
He's on the side of the bill.
Yes. He's on the prevailing side. Senator Krogh, that's a better way of putting it. Yes, what is your motion?
Senator Krogh, off-campus practice, I vote to kill the main motion that would be.
A motion has been made to kill the reconsideration. Motion's been made to kill the Senator Ferguson. Do you?
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Order. Since we haven't even considered this, is that even allowable in parliamentary procedure? We haven't even started this.
Let me answer this point. All right, Senator Sweet.
As I was, Senator Sweet, Little Arts, isn't this out of line since we haven't even considered this motion?
I believe that because the motion has been made and because of the motion that if it's made by one person who is on the prevailing side, that means that motion has already been made. However, I believe that based on basic idea of Robert's Rules and Order, everyone in this room has an equal voice. And so if you're to motion to kill the prevailing motion, it would need to take a 2/3 vote. And if I'm wrong on that, by all means, I want to get this right. But that's my understanding. So this takes a 2/3 vote. That motion is in order because that motion automatically passed when he made it. Yes, Senator Powers.
Does that motion need to be seconded? Senator Powers, College of Education, does that motion need to be seconded?
The motion to kill, I believe it does need to be seconded.
Point of information?
Yes, Senator Krogh.
The kill the main motion is.
Point of order.
Yes.
She didn't say her name.
You're right. You're out of order, Senator Krogh. And you also didn't state your name in caucus. You're out of order. Yes, Senator Krogh.
Senator Krogh, off-campus practice.
Yes.
Is it true that this takes a majority vote?
To kill a main motion? So this is the interpretation of the chair and why I believe it's a 2/3 vote. Because within the ranking order of Robert's Rules. Now, if you can show me the rule, I'll change it. But then please show me the rule.
Can you?
Right. So my logic is because Senator Trevino is a senator in this body, anytime you want to override the voice of someone, whether that be to stop debate or to interrupt someone else's debate, it takes a super majority rather than a simple majority to do that because you're respecting the rights of every individual senator. So you can introduce. All right. It is a majority vote according to that, which doesn't make sense to me.
Point of information.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, Senator Clark. Roberts, sorry, I was looking at the story. Senator Roberts.
Senator Roberts calls for
Please stay in order.
Well, even though she tried to kill the motion, also, you have to debate it also.
Yeah, killing the motion is a debatable motion.
Okay.
Yes.
Point of parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, Chair Clark.
Chair Clark, is a kill the main motion similar to cancel or change previous action motion? Are they the same?
No. Kill the main motion is its own motion.
Okay.
If you look at the order of precedence, it's up above, reconsideration. Yes, Senator Powers.
Senator Powers, House of Education, point of information, has the motion been seconded yet, the kills?
I did not see a second, but now I'm seeing multiple, so.
Thank you.
All right, we'll now move into debate against killing the main motion. So I'm going to run through, so no one has any questions, exactly what just happened. Unless everyone just wants to go. Okay, we're gonna run through it then. Basically, what just happened is he voted on the prevailing side, but then he made a motion to reconsider. Anyone who votes on the prevailing side of a bill that fails or passes, whatever the prevailing side is, they can make a motion to reconsider at any point in the meeting as long as it's in order, and then they can come forward and we can reconsider the bill. Reconsideration goes straight to debate against and debate for. So it goes back into debate. However, a motion was made immediately after, which is a preceding motion, which means it takes precedence over this motion that was made to kill the main motion. The motion was made by Senator Crowe. It had a second. That motion takes a majority vote, and it begins with debate and debate against. During debate against, I'll begin with Senator Ferguson. You'll have 2.5 minutes starting at now.
Senator Ferguson, College of Geosciences. Oh, I'm getting sick of coming over here and talking about this. This is getting ridiculous. This bill, in its entirety, is a pretty good bill. If there are things that this body does not like about it, please send it back to committee. Show up to our committee. 2 freaking members of our showed up last time. That's it. And 1 person who was not in our. 3 people should not be making this. So seriously, show up to our meeting, amend it, and then we can pass it through the last one because there's no reason for all of these really great things to get tabled because we don't like a t-shirt rule, or we don't like a teacher rule, or something stupid like that. So please do your job as senators, send it back to committee and reconsider it, and come make the amendments that you want to make so that we don't have to do this next time and waste everybody's time. I yield my time to Powers.
Senator Powers, College of Education, I would just like to remake the point and echo what the senator said, that we have the ability to send this to committee yet again. Which, just a reminder to the body, for anyone who had any sort of qualms about these regulations, they have been available for at least a week, if not 2 weeks, for you to have the time to go over, to decide what amendments you would like to make. And if you are so inclined to make such amendments, we have the ability to go over that about this right now. I'm having to sit over there typing these minutes, and it's not exactly fun when we get all riled up like this because everyone's like motion flying everywhere. It's really hard to keep up with, but I'm literally willing to sit here and do that if it means that someone next year in the election commissioner position doesn't have to have the year that we had again. And they deserve that because guess what? They're so lucky too. So I yield to Senator Hernandez.
Senator Hernandez, on-campus caucus. If Commissioner Keithley had the time to look over the current rules and make judgments on what is deemed right to edit, I feel like, at least out of respect and courtesy for her job, we should get this. With that, I yield the floor to Chair Clark.
20 seconds. 20 seconds. Chair Clarkson Services. One thing I would like to echo is that we have made 2 amendments to this bill, and there are still people who are against this bill. So if you have problems with it, why not reconsider this thing, bring them out there so we can make more amendments.
Please finish your sentence.
because we want to get done with this meeting so that the next election can start off with election regulations. And so with that, I yield, I guess.
Yield to what?
The floor.
Okay, the floor has been yielded to. Is there any debate for? Joseph? There's no debate for.
I want to do floor.
Senator Krogh? Please stay in order. There's a lot of talking going on. You have 2 minutes, 2.5 starting at Howdy.
Hi, Senate.
Howdy.
Okay, I think we kind of like to all wrap this up very quickly here, and y'all have already heard the vote count. In order for this to pass through, which is 2/3 majority, obviously that number isn't here, and a lot of the same people's opinions remain the same. Now, I know a lot of folks here from the other side of the issue want to make it very personal. They want to drag it through the mud and call it something about teachers and relationships and things that have happened over the past several months. But that's not what this is about. This is about creating the best document that we can. And if we push it through,
stay in order, please.
And if we try to push it through again tonight, I just don't see us being able to accomplish the things that we need to accomplish. We've already taken a vote. The numbers are already obvious. 1 or 2 people aren't going to be able to get this thing pushed through tonight. I think we need to stick true to our values and be able to make the best document that we can. Not get tangled up with the political issues between 1 or 2 people or some small trivial detail, because that's not what this is about. So I ask you to really think about those things. Thank you. And I yield the floor.
Floor has been yielded to. We'll now move back to debate against killing. Who debated after Powers on against?
Hernandez and Clark.
Okay, hang on. Mark written down. Okay, we move back to debate against, beginning with Sarah Lander.
Sarah Lander, Corcus Caucus. It's my last ever time of debate, probably. So. We're not trying to push this through tonight. We're trying to reconsider it and bring it back next week. So whether or not you think this is trivial or whether or not you think this is a lot of things we need to talk about, important things, this is important. This is affecting how we get elected, how our money is used. So no one's trying to push this through tonight. We're trying to reconsider it. In order to reconsider it, we can't kill it because that would mean it's gone forever. So go ahead and kill this. It's not. Who hasn't debated yet? You can have it.
Everybody has good points, but first off, this isn't personal. This isn't personal at all. Okay. But I just want to say that we shouldn't kill a bill that the election commissioners put so much time in, that RR has put so much time in. And if you're mad seriously about a shirt, it's literally only 2 weeks. Seriously, you can do that. If there are issues that you have with it, go to the next RR meeting like Senator Ferguson has said, if you want to say so, and what goes on with this bill. Literally, there is an election coming up pretty soon because you know we have to fill in vacancies for the fall. And it's just going to throw everything out of order. We might as well, if you have an issue, go ahead and send it back. If you have an issue, go ahead and just send it back. Have things change, but don't kill it. There's so much work. There's so many good things that have gone into this bill.
1 minute.
Sorry, thank you. There's so many things that have gone into this bill, and there are a lot of clear and valid points that really stop the election commissioner from getting 10 million questions during election season. So you just need to go ahead and not kill it. And with that, I yield to Senator Wilson.
Chair Wilson.
Chair Wilson, sorry.
I wanted to echo one thing that came from the debate 4 side. The debate 4 wants to make sure that we pass the best bill possible.
35 seconds.
And it's impossible to do that if this bill just gets killed out. It's important to make sure that we send this back to committee if we do anything, so that our next election commissioner doesn't have to go through the same thing, but we can get the best bill that we need. And with that,
15 seconds.
10 seconds.
15. Now 10.
With that, I move the previous question.
Previous question's been moved. Reminder, we are voting on whether or not to kill the motion that Senator Trevino made. So we are voting. If you vote aye, that means that you're voting to kill the motion. If you vote, don't do that. If you vote,
Point of information, can you remind us which Senator Roach, can you remind us
This is
what
state
motion Senator Reno brought up?
Trevino, all right, Senator Trevino made the motion to reconsider. So really the question is, are we going to vote to kill the motion to reconsider or uphold the motion to reconsider? It takes a majority vote, and we'll begin with votes for killing the main motion. So if you vote for this and a majority of the votes pass, so if you say aye and a majority of the ayes have it, then what that means is that his motion doesn't happen and the bill remains failed. If, however, you vote nay, then that means, please stay in order. Please stay in order. Yes. If, however, you vote nay, then the vote that you're making is indicating that you do not want to kill the motion, which means that you would like to reconsider. Does that make sense? Senator Wilson.
Chair Wilson.
Chair Wilson, my apologies.
Point of information. So if we're voting nay, are we not voting not to reconsider? It seems like a vote aye would mean, yes, I want to reconsider.
Yeah, if you're voting aye, you're basically saying I want to reconsider. Wait, no. Aye on kill. You confused me. Aye is to kill. Aye is to kill. So if you vote aye, you're voting not to reconsider. So if you want to reconsider, say nay. If you do not want to reconsider, say aye. Okay? Senator Crowe.
Senator Crowe, off-campus caucus, point of information.
Yes, ma'am.
For the sake of clarity, can you,
Can we just divide inside?
assure, okay, just
Out of order, Senator Trevino.
For the sake of clarity, can you please confirm that 2 votes aye means to keep the original vote that was had the first time around in this debate, and to say nay is to start the whole process over again?
That's not quite correct, because starting the whole process over again would mean we go back to presentation. But basically, okay, if you vote in a second, I'm going to say all in favor. Please say aye. And if you say aye, you're voting to kill, which means that you're voting not to reconsider. Okay? If you say nay, then you're voting to reconsider. If you say nay, you're voting to reconsider. Say with it. If you say nay, you're voting to reconsider. There we go. Senator Westbrook. Senator Westbrook. Yes.
If we do reconsider this motion, we can refer it to a committee, and it can be presented at the next meeting.
Yes, reconsideration, yes. You guys, we talked about knocking, and there's a motion made about knocking earlier. The motion would be to go back to debate, and debate would then be debate. We go back to debate again, at which point someone can make a motion to send it back to committee. So yes, so you vote nay, that's what you're voting to possibly happen, depending on the motions that are made once we go back to debate.
Clarifying, it can be voted on the next meeting for the joint session, correct?
Yes, that is the absolute last meeting that anything can be considered from the 69th. Senator Crowe.
Point of information, Senator Crowe, off-campus caucus.
Yes.
Just to clarify some of the details here, can you confirm that even if we were to kill the main motion, presented to reconsider and all of that, this wouldn't strike the bill from the legislation that we can handle in the fall when there's more thought that can be put to the process? Can you clarify that is true?
So I don't know if the term more thought is quite accurate. I would say that if you make the motion and you kill it, yeah, this legislation is still out there. It's still hanging around, right? But it's dead. And it can't, no election regulation changes could be made until the fall, where we've had a semester in which, I'm moving dangerously close to explaining this in debate form. But basically, yes, this would still hang around. It would fail though, and nothing could be considered on election regulations until the fall, unless the speaker of the 70th session and the student body president decide to call special sessions during finals. Yes, Senator Crowe.
On that note, can you confirm that these same senators who would not want to meet during finals would also probably not want to meet during a committee and therefore not be able to put their best effort into making?
I can't speak for them. I can't speak for them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Senator Clark.
I apologize.
Please. All right. So, if you vote aye, you're voting to kill the motion. If you vote nay, you're voting to reconsider. All in favor of killing the motion, please say aye.
No, it's not.
All in favor of killing the motion, please say aye. Yes. All opposed, please say nay. Ears of the chair. That motion fails. We'll now move to a reconsideration, beginning with debate against. I recognize Senator Westbrook.
Senator Westbrook, I'll cancel that motion.
Please state your motion.
I move we refer this act back to committee.
Which committee?
Rules and regulations.
Rules and regulations. Multiple seconds. The motion is made to send this back to Rules and Regulations Committee. Seeing multiple seconds. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. And here's the chair that passes. You got 2 out of orders, Senator Trevino. That bill has been sent back to the Rules and Regulations Committee. All right. We'll now move to SB 6957, Caucus Appropriation Act.
Motion?
Yes, Senator Powers.
I move to send this bill back to committee because neither of the authors are here.
Cool.
They're already leaving.
Yeah, motion's been made to send the bill back to committee. See multiple seconds. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Your chair, that passes consent to the Rules and Regulations Committee. We'll now move to SB 6958, the Silver Taps Memorial Act. Would the bill author please come forward?
Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
That's
1 minute starting howdy.
Okay, so I'll keep it short and sweet. There's really nothing I have to say about this. I mean, all the joking aside, it's a very solemn bill in my opinion. And I just want to do something to help us keep in mind our students that we represent during Silver Taps weeks. There are 2 main changes, as far as I know, is that the week after Silver Taps, whatever general meeting we have after Silver Taps when this will happen, and the speaker will say their names, hometowns, and class year before the moment of silence. Are there any questions?
Senator Powers.
Senator Powers, College of Education. First, I wanted to say that totally hands-on for all into this bill. But I do have a concern with the whereas 1, how it states it's the final tribute. I don't know if that necessarily is true considering mustard. Would you be amenable to like changing the wording a little bit to say like one of the tributes, just to make sure that we don't knock mustard as well?
I agree. The reason it sounds a little foolish is the core capital for Silver Taps. Silver Taps is student body's final tribute paid to an active at the time of his or her death, was it undergraduate or graduate course that's the same. So going with that campusology, the all cadets will have to memorize. That's why I wrote it. I understand your thing about mustard. I believe mustard is also, that's the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I attended mustard as a faculty student. That's a problem here as a community. However, I'm fine with amending it. I don't have a problem with it. That's just how I want it to word and open it up.
Yes, follow.
Okay, Senator Powers, College of Education, again, love it. I just want to clarify, do you even want that, because if you don't, I won't make the motion, because I understand that where you're getting it from. I just wanted to know if that was.
I'm fine with it as is in this, and believe it should be changed.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Seeing none, Senator Sweet, thank you very much. We'll now move to period of debate. During debate against the Silver Taps Memorial Act. Seeing none, debate is one-sided. We'll move to period of voting. All in favor of passing SB 6958, Silver Taps Memorial Act, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay. And the years to chair, that passes unanimously. There's no new business, therefore we'll move into a period of open session. Are there any bills for open session? I'm going to recognize myself, Speaker Hood. If you go in the open session. Wow. All right, guys, this is going to be pretty quick. I'm going to explain it to y'all. So we've been working on changing how representation is done in the Senate. Basically, the first bill is just housekeeping that we didn't quite pass out because it got sent back to committee because 2 authors were not here.
This second bill, however, is a little bit different in that it causes a couple changes. And this is the proposal that I'm putting forward. Again, Rules and Regs Committee is going to be very interesting, but if you have any questions, I encourage you to come to the Rules and Regulations Committee. That way we can make sure, like, what I want to see, guys, when we get to that Rules and Regs Committee, is I want to make sure that we pass, like, all the parties who are concerned are okay with that bill so that we can pass those 3 out of there and get done with the 69th session out of respect to time for the 70th.
Hey, Joseph, where is this?
It should be in the open session folder. There, Rosine said he put it there. I think it might be a caucus division bill.
That one?
Yes. And it's.
There's a second one.
I think
There's a.
Chair Rosine had written it for me and they put it up here. Okay, it's basically, I'm going to tell you all exactly what it does, even though that's not proper. It's going to get sent to the Rules and Regs Committee. They're going to amend it. They're going to get it straightened out. But essentially, what this bill does is it changes how representation is done in the student senate just a little bit. So what would it do? It would move caucus representation, so representation by college, from 39, where it is right now, to 50. That's 50. It would take away seats from off-campus and residency. So take away seats from residency. Now, this wouldn't go into effect. I saw a couple of heads snap up when I said take away seats from off-campus. It wouldn't go into effect until the 71st session. But what it does is it shrinks the residency caucus and expands the by college caucus, because it's a lot easier to represent a college than it is to represent a residency. And then there's 50 seats, and then there's 10 seats. Now, this is going to be another change. There's going to be 10 seats, 2 reserved each class. So right now we have 2 seats reserved in the freshman class. My proposal is to have 8 more seats added that are new, and that's why this has to go to the constitutional change, because I'm adding new caucuses that have to be voted on, and that's by class. So that'd be your sophomore, junior, senior year, and then graduate professional students as well would get 2 seats in the student senate. They represent, there's 10,000 graduate professional students at Texas A&M. I don't think they're necessarily the most well represented in this body of time. That would leave 20 seats to be divided based on representation. I mean, shrink the on-campus caucus a little bit, and shrink the off-campus caucus quite a bit. But that's the proposal that I have. That's the proposal I'm putting forward. I'm open to other suggestions, other ideas on how we do that. I've just noticed in my time here in the student senate that we got to find ways to increase the representation of students at Texas A&M. I think it's a very practical way that we can do this, and that's why I'm presenting this bill. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions for Speaker Hood? Senator Parker.
Senator Parker, College of Engineering. When considering reapportioning these seats, have you considered any other forms of constituencies like men's organizations or
yes. I've thought about that.
Stay in order, please.
I thought about doing IFC, get so many seats. The MSC would be able to appoint. I thought about almost dividing the Senate into 2 separate houses, but keep it as one, where you have a group that's elected at large, and then you have a group where certain student organizations appoint people to serve on the Senate, and they have to hold that term. I thought that would be too convoluted. It would get into the potential would be that certain student organizations would start to have an undue influence on the student government. We might have people representing the student organizations more than representing the students. There's certain student governments in the country. I don't know if you look at the University of Alabama. No offense to IFC, but it's all IFC, and that doesn't necessarily always represent all the student body. And so trying to find the best way to balance that, I thought that this would be a way. In the colleges, you're interacting with these people every day. You're in your classes. There's college caucuses. There's the dean. There's people that you know you can identify and say, these are the people I represent, without trying to take away from the students' right to vote for people. And the other problem with doing it by student organization would be, let's say I give the MSC some seats. Corps Cadets are, the Corps Cadets are going to keep their seats, by the way. Corps Cadets get some seats. And I forget International Student Association, right? And I don't appoint seats to International Student Association because I'm not familiar with that. Well, then they might be outraged that, who makes the cut at that point, right? It just becomes a very difficult conversation to have about what organizations are represented and what organizations are not. Yeah, that's what
Senator Roberts.
Senator Roberts, House of Liberal Arts. So my question for you is, my question for you basically, with the seats, would you also be liberal arts, would that drop or?
All of the college seats for the most part would increase because I'm adding 11 more seats to colleges.
And so those would be distributed proportionally, just like we do it now based on population. So you take the 50, divide it across, everyone gets at least 2, and then you start rounding from there.
Permission to follow up? I'll put you at the end, Chair Clerk.
Chair Clark, Student Services. You had talked about adding 2 graduate student representatives.
Yes.
Well, first off, I guess, are the graduate student council?
I've talked with GPSC, I floated it by Paul. He hasn't given me an up or down answer yet.
Okay.
But we got a week until this comes back up. So I figured, I brought it forward to Paul.
Okay. You wish them to follow up at the end?
Yes, at the end.
Okay.
Senator Roberts.
Senator Roberts, House of Remarks, with the 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores,
Mhm.
is that basically like, equaling like fish shades kind of, or?
No, those would be fully serving centers, just like Center Compton's a center that's on freshman class.
Oh, so it's just like the sophomore, junior. Okay.
Yeah.
Chair Coates.
Chair Clark, Student Services. Do you think that because the Graduate Student Council already has an organization that represents graduate students, that having 2 senators in this body would give them a little bit more influence on our proceedings more than?
If 2 senators can sway the entire room, then they'd probably be the best dang senators we've ever seen. I think that it gives them a voice. It also gives them a way that they can better understand what's going on here. A lot of times there's a separation between us and GPSC. And it's sad because 95% of the time we line up with GPSC, who represents 10,000 plus students. And so if there's any way that we can bring in greater representation and make sure that every voice is heard, I don't know about you, but I'm all for it.
Senator Craig.
Senator Craig, off-campus caucus. Would you be concerned that it's difficult for the off-campus caucus to represent the students that are divided between the residencies, whether on campus or off campus? Wouldn't it be even harder for 2 representatives per class to represent the students in their class? Seeing they're not only divided by colleges, but also by the residencies?
Right. Well, so there's entities and bodies though, right, that represent them. So class councils, there's still class president and their officer team, who's constantly in contact with their team. GPSC, obviously, the graduate students would be in contact with graduate professional students. You can make the same argument though for engineering students. How in the world can our 7 or 8 engineering students represent 10,000 plus students? I think that the most is that there's a physical place where you can go. Where you're an off-campus center, the best places that you can go are those off-campus organizations, and you're not going to touch but a fraction of the student body because we're looking at 40,000 students that live off campus. My other thing about the off-campus caucus is that I'm a proud member. I've been elected for years. It's easier to get elected in the off-campus caucus. This year, there were 31 seats, only 22 people ran, and so we had 9 people who didn't even file to run who got elected. And I think that by moving it to the colleges, you increase representation. In the colleges, you actually increase the competition of the races we have in the Student Senate, which increases the interest of the student body in the Student Government Association.
Permission to follow up?
At the end. Chair Clark.
Withdrawn.
Senator Powers.
Senator Powers, College of Education, just to give you the opportunity to clarify, would this motion increase competitiveness within the races? Even though you've already answered this.
Yes, it would increase competitiveness in the races, I believe.
Okay.
Now, you get a caucus of 31 people and you have them all run against each other. Odds are it's a lot easier to beat out 1 person out of 31 than it is to beat out 1 person out of 5. Just numerically, your chances of getting elected are a lot higher in the off-campus caucus traditionally.
Thank you.
Well,
With a minute remaining, Senator Trevino.
Senator Trevino off campus.
Motion,
Senator Krogh.
Senator off-campus caucus, motion to extend the answer by 2 minutes.
There's been a motion to extend there's a second. All in favor to extend the motion of period and answer by, how long was it? 3 minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
In the ears of the chair, that fails with a minute. Senator Trevino.
Senator off campus, you spoke to the numbers that took this year after a lot of controversy. What were the numbers last year to get elected as an off-campus senator?
The numbers last year, so even with, I think it was 40, 47, 48 people. Don't quote me on that, but it was 69. Okay, so with 69 people running, yeah, that was really bad.
Right, I was just asking.
Yeah, no, I guess it was 69. The previous year, I want to say when I ran. How many votes did the lowest person get? Man, I don't know. I'd have to look back on the election results. You rest your case.
Senator Krogh, 30 seconds remaining.
Senator Craig, off-campus caucus, following up on that logic, when did it voters be elected off-campus caucus, which was represented as the majority of students last year, that
Right, but an off-campus caucus election, here's the thing, I don't think an off-campus caucus election will necessarily represent the off-campus. I think that when 4/5 of the student body is elected and it is off-campus, and we look at 4/5 of the Senate and
Please finish your
how we
sentence.
actually compose ourselves and how we look and how we act and how we identify, we don't quite match the student body. I'm not saying that's a problem, but I am saying that it disenfranchises people's representation, I think, in the off-campus caucus.
That's up for debate.
No, this is going to committee.
Okay. This, all right, so that's the end of question and answer. So this is going to go ahead and be sent to the Rules and Regulations Committee. Bill number.
That would have been, I guess, it'd have been 59 or 60. All right, we will now continue with open forum. Is there any other business for open forum? Open session, my apology. Other business for open session. Seeing none, open session now closed. Move to a period committee reports. You can just go down the line. Beginning with Chair Wilson.
Chair Wilson, I have nothing.
All right, great. Ad hoc Chair Wayne.
Ad hoc Chair Wayne, I have nothing.
Great. Day.
Two-day finance, same.
For Rosine.
You said Rosie.
Yeah, for Rosine, but I'm calling you.
Oh, Chair Clark. So basically, I've been transitioning into the office of speaker, and so I've been doing a lot with these, so I have nothing new.
Great. Brooch.
Chair Broach, 1, please start passing your placards over. 2, the OER awards were going to be given out today, but they did not order the placards in time, so Chair Clark has generously given up roughly 3 minutes of his 70th session in 2 weeks.
1 week, it's next week.
Just kidding, 1 week. So those will be given out then. Other than that, we have no business. So.
Great. All right, executive reports, SVP Waverly. 2 things. Oh, RR, my apologies, real quick, rules regulations.
Don't worry
about it.
Okay, for those of y'all who I'm expecting to see within our army, chances are they're usually on the opposite Wednesdays at 6:30-ish. Cameron obviously has the say on that, and since so many of y'all want to come, he'll send it out in an email to the body, so look for that. But shoot for this time next Wednesday.
This time next Wednesday will be joint session.
Oh, shit, it's not gonna be Wednesday. I'll be out of order. See if I can at this point. But, yeah.
That's fine. You are out of order, but you can finish your sentence. Great. Okay, SVP Waverly.
Please, for Dan. 2 quick things. First off, the SGA banquet is on Monday, the 24th. You should have been sent an invite by SpeakerGrid. If not, you need to get on that. Have you been sent it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So everyone is invited. Dates, if you can get them, are not. Jasmine, you're an exception because of Jill. So, second off, if you haven't seen the Austin American Statesman today,
Spencer Davis's efforts at his work with UTEMCO have been successful. It's a UT relinquished won a couple of their spots to A&M, so A&M is now $7 billion richer, and it's not exactly. So we can talk offline about that. So those are my 2 updates. Thank y'all for an incredible year. Text me if you have anything else. I yield the floor.
Floor's been yielded. Any questions? Seeing none. Close. You had a question? Oh, it's a private question. Okay. Chief Justice James is not here. All right. I'll come down. Exec report. It'll be quick. Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
Okay. So here's the deal. We have about an hour in the 69th session to pass 2, maybe 3 controversial pieces of legislation. Well, actually, no, 2. One is just reapportionment. 2 other pieces of legislation that are going to be heavily debated. So here's my challenge to every one of you. If you disagree with the bill that came forward with election regulations, then at the Rules and Regulations meeting, I expect you to be there. That is for both sides, quote unquote sides. That's for everyone. And I'm going to be there myself, and we need to make sure we're there. Because here's what I propose. I propose that we bring a bill to the floor that everyone on both sides agree with before it hits the floor. Okay? And so if that means cutting certain pieces out and leaving the rest in, then we'll cut certain pieces out and leave the rest in. If that means putting other things back in and leaving other things back out or adding things, whatever that may be, until we're comfortable with this bill, then I think that we need to be there, we need to be working on it. Because I think that that is a skill that we don't see today in this country. And I would love to see it exercised and demonstrated in the Senate body. And I think it's a great opportunity for everyone. I think it's a great opportunity for everyone in this room to lead. And it's a great opportunity for everyone to say, okay, we might disagree on these things, but let's reach a consensus. So when we bring the bill to the floor on the 69th, we get a unanimous vote because we worked our butts off leading up to it. That's what I would like to see. I'm an idealist. It's got me in trouble multiple times. But I really think we can do it. So if you disagree or if you don't have time to make it to that meeting, you come to me. I could represent you. I can say these are the things that are being said. These are the things that are being held. How can we make sure that we get this bill out of committee where it can get passed out? I don't want it to be where we're having to cobble together a 2/3 vote. I've never had to whip votes in the Senate before. Actually, my apologies. I've never had to whip votes for a piece of legislation like this in the Senate where I would be going. I apologize. Anyway, it's been a long night, guys. Okay, I have whipped votes before, but never on this level. But if it means that we have to do it, we got to do it. Because guys, there are some election regulations that we got to change. There are some that we got to change. I'd like to see them changed before we're done. But if we can't change them all, that's fine. But let's at least get incremental improvement rather than just starting on square one for the 70th session. So I'd like to see everyone's cooperation on that. I'd like to see everyone ring knocking right now because we're all in the student session. Come on. I know. Everybody ring knocking. Well, some people are ring knocking. Oh, ring knocks. Sorry, hand knocks, not ring knocks. For those who don't have a ring, I apologize. That is vulgar, Senator. Anyway, we got one meeting left. Go to muster, 7 o'clock, Rita. If you got any questions, if you got anything, I'm out of here in 3 weeks. I'd love to talk with all of y'all. It's been a privilege to serve. I'll have my closing remarks next week, not this week.
Okay.
And with that, I'm open to any questions. Oh, hi, Chair.
Are there any questions for Chair? Senator Roberts?
Senator Roberts, College of Liberal Arts, are you aware that I am not Chair Clark?
I am very aware that you're not Chair Clark, and I apologize.
Any other questions?
Senator, I think what basically is when is the rules and regulations meeting Sunday?
The Rules and Regulations Committee meeting is
Chances are it's gonna be on Sunday. If not, it'll be Monday or Tuesday night. Maybe wants to know like how cold this is open on Sunday, but check your emails.
Close open to 6 on.
It'll probably sometime be after 6 p.m. on Sunday, here in the conference room or somewhere where everyone will. You're welcome.
My apologies for the ring taps. We don't have rings yet. You'll get them. You'll earn them.
Are there any other questions for Speaker Hood? No?
We do close our roll call.
Go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Let's roll through this. Here we go. SVP Wimberly. Chief Justice James. Please stay in order so I can hear the names. Chief Justice James. Myself, Pro Tem Finney, Chair Rosine, Chair Broach,
Howdy.
Abdullah, Day,
Howdy.
Clark, Turpin, Argamany, Black,
Howdy.
Foster,
Howdy.
Fredmeyer, Brookins, howdy, Brown, Brown, Cook,
Howdy.
Cox,
Howdy.
Compton,
Howdy.
Cruz,
Howdy.
Evans, Ferguson, Gamble, Golke,
Howdy.
Hernandez,
Howdy.
Blinka,
Howdy.
Long,
Howdy.
Johnson, howdy, King,
Howdy.
Crow,
Howdy.
Drumholz, Lander,
I represent.
We are one.
Martin, Montford, Moore, Nelson, Peterson, Powers,
Howdy.
Rathjen, Riojas, Roberts,
Howdy.
Smart, howdy, Trevino, Walter, Wang, Wolf, Weisler, howdy, Wilson, howdy, Krog, Howell, Economides, Moody, Westbrook, Walker, Diamond, Gimenteris, Ramirez, Moore,
Howdy.
Cole, Monroy, Chunga, Regoso, Rossi, Bierenbaum, Amin, Peterani, Okay, Meloche, Moreno, Parker, Swing, Arambula, Markey, Serrano, Spalding, Spaya, Anderson. Okay, James Curry.
Howdy. Madam Chamberlain. No, come on, you can do it. Oh, wait, yeah, Nick, you make us like mine, you minus 19. Day.
Hey, we need down this room.
Everybody.